Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this live stream, we're going to be talking about Krillin's Wee Wee. Why are my overlays not working? I step away for one stream, and the overlays just stop working. I guess we'll live without it. Oh well. Anyway, we're gonna hold on. Let me unmute you. Brian's here, by the way, guys. Did you have something to
Yeah,
say, Brian?
yeah. What overlay stuff is missing? Oh yeah,
Just
all of it.
yeah, every one of the four things is just not there. I still don't have you on. I can copy you over. I should have done that. When we have screens up, you'll be up here still like normal. But anyway,
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna talk about Krillin's Wee Wee because for whatever reason they decided to give Krillin a big, fat, girthy blast effect that is very strange. It's not going to be a long conversation about that, but we are going to talk about it. We are going to
Oh,
talk
that's the
about
whole
some tips.
stream. The
What's that?
entire stream is us talking about
Oh,
the.
yeah.
That's the whole thing.
I don't know if I could riff that long for that topic, but maybe. I mean, I could make a lot of penis jokes. Um okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to talk about tips for collecting, and then we're going to talk about some lies, some logical fallacies that happen in the toy industry to help you maybe make your collecting a little bit easier on the wallet and more enjoyable. That's the plan. We're going to kind of just talk about how to make collecting more fun, more cost effective, and get you guys better products in your hands and fewer worse products in your hands. And as usual, I am here with my friend Brian, aka Lalem or Lalem, or that Ocarina of Time Link fanatic. Brian, would you like to say hi to the people?
Hello, the people. I do Ocarina of Time stuff, and also I like toys and used to sculpt more and stuff. But I'm gonna be sculpting again more soon, eventually.
What are you going to be sculpting?
I'm gonna be sculpting Ocarina of Time later.
Okay, yeah. So some people caught on to what I was saying. Okay, so logical fallacies, the word phallus, and then collecting tips. I mixed them all in to be penile jokes. It was very clever. I'm glad some people caught
Yeah,
on to that. Very good.
I
Okay.
didn't, but now I know.
Well, see, the thing is, I had those ideas in my mind that we were going to do this for the stream anyway, and then they gave Krillin a big fat sausage, and I thought, well, okay, they're just asking for me to make inappropriate jokes, and so I did.
The particular stream.
Okay, so we always start with a little bit of news type stuff. So the news things I want to talk about, I'll give you a quick rundown of all the things, guys, and then we'll talk about them. We're going to talk about Maximum Hulk briefly. We're going to talk about the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff from Hasbro. We are going to talk about Bandai just losing their minds and doing crazy things, including penises and giant fat statues and mobile game characters that cost way too much. Just Bandai has lost it. They've gone cuckoo crazy. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about some new releases. The what is that guy's name? Aka Rengar, whatever.
Aqua
And
Ranger.
yeah, sure. And I don't know the character. It
Okay,
does look good.
it's the first Power Ranger.
Yeah, okay. He doesn't look anything like the Green Ranger. Okay, we're gonna talk about the reissue, a couple reissues that are coming out.
There is a green
Uh,
one.
a new Seiho Tiga, and a Jada release. That's the news. Lots of news to talk about, and then we're gonna get into the other stuff, and we can. It's gonna be a relaxed thing. Like I'm saying, logical fallacies, and we're gonna talk about it, but it's not gonna be like a philosophy debate or a lecture or something. It's just gonna be shooting the proverbial poop. All right, we already got a super chat, and let's hit that real quick, and then we'll move on to the news from Spec Ops Labs. $50. Whoa! I don't have a way to play like animations and things, and my overlay's broken. I don't know why my overlay's not working, so I'm sorry you didn't get the fun that you normally would get, but thank you. Um, Wanted to help support before you guys really got into things. Oh, I appreciate that. And he said, I appreciate the videos and humor. Well, thank you very much. I'll make sure Brian gets his share. I'm kidding. I
No.
don't pay him. No, I will if we end up start actually making money because like YouTube takes like 30% of that right off the top, and then there's taxes and stuff. So it ends up being very little. So I can't pay him that much, but I'll make sure Brian gets his fair share. Okay, don't worry. I'm an honest guy publicly. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the news. The first thing, I want to talk about just very briefly because I just reviewed the Hulk Brian, do you know anything about the Hulk? Have you followed this Maximum stuff at all? I'll
I
bring it
did.
up.
I watched it from the sidelines, and then I watched the review.
Okay, fair
I really
enough. Let
like that the
me.
paint cuts off at the end of the pants on the back. I was very happy to see that they followed through and didn't
The
follow
fact
through.
that they did that is just crazy. I cannot. I say that too much, but I'm just gonna use these photos because I didn't bother bringing mine over because there's no point. But the fact that they did not improve anything from the old figure that they brought over, including the paint, and it's actually worse. Uh, and there's still people defending him. It's just nuts. Maximum Hulk. They couldn't paint the little
This
white line.
this had the issue where it's like the ball is like polygonal or has dots on it, so you can't twist the thing without it snapping back, right? And like the
Uh,
torso.
yeah, a little bit. It didn't move that freely. Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
hate that.
true.
I won't
Yeah,
buy I won't buy any of Hasbro stuff until they stop doing that. I don't understand what the point is. Is it just
there.
like
It's because they don't have to do
so
tolerances. If they add those little nubbins, they can make it tighter, and it's better than falling apart in their mind. I guess
it's garbage.
it's
So stupid.
ridiculous. So we have that. We have a lot of joints that don't work. This isn't going to be a full review. I'm just going to for anybody that missed my review, please go watch it. It's a long video. I put a lot of effort into it, as much as you can for a review. But then they also did things like these swooshy clap effects. Like they don't understand swooshes because they did this for Gambit too and various other characters. It needs to be, if you're going like this, the swoosh has to be the radius of the arm all the way back. And it's like he did this. Like he's got T-Rex claps. It doesn't make any sense. The figure is just not
You mean
Maximum.
when you clap your hands, you don't put your hands at your shoulders first?
No, I clap like a T-Rex, like this. And that's how Hulk does it too, because he's strong enough. He's strong enough to do it. I know Brian can't see me, but you guys can, so you know what I'm doing. So yeah, it
I
just
get to
doesn't.
see you
Nothing works
delayed
on. You can. What'd you
'cause
say?
I get to see you delayed because I see you in the video, so I do
Oh,
see
you were
you
watching
waving
it.
the palms like an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. I have no problem with that. So yeah, Hulk. It was just a terrible, terrible release. Far worse than Spider-Man, and other people are defending it, saying it's actually better. It's like how? At least Spider-Man was a new figure. At
Who's
least
defending
that.
it? Are they in your comments?
Yeah, there's enough. But I mean, I had to. I don't delete comments unless the people are being like exceptionally rude or inappropriate. So I delete some comments like that. But yeah, it hasn't been as many, but it was a plenty. It was plenty of people who were like, "No, this
They
is
were my
fine.
they were
I
my
can't
alt
get a Hulk
accounts.
for a good price, so this is good." What's that?
I'm the big Maximum Hulk defender with 20 accounts. It looks it just I mean, okay, I will say that like the rubber chest thing, I'd say that that was probably the least concerning thing in the end. It just
Yes.
being like a mediocre release otherwise was stupid. I don't like the
Yeah.
head sculpts either. I don't know
No, the
what's
head
going on with
sculpts are
that.
terrible. These elbow flaps, to not fix the elbow flaps and the hips that don't work is enough. Like even the paint, fine, you know what? I'm not going to look at his ass that much. I don't care. I don't care if they don't paint it. Practically speaking, it's not going to affect my enjoyability that much. But their effort going into it is indicated by that. And then the glossy pants, the hips don't work. He can't freaking stand up. Like he's
I
too
really
loose.
wish somebody would just because people do interviews with the guys. And
Well,
I
they won't
obviously
take them. Go ahead, sorry.
somebody just asked like, "Man, what's going on?" And they could be like, "Well, because something's going on." And I imagine it's mostly execs who want to
Oh
cut
yeah, I mean
costs.
probably. There is
And
some
then,
level
and
of
then
ineptitude though, for sure. I mean down at the bottom.
because like what if they were like, okay, we want you guys to release these ultra expensive figures, but we want you to be cheaper than normal releases. And they were like, we don't want to do that. And they're like, well, you don't have a choice.
But see that I'm sure that kind of thing happens, but they still do things like bad sculpt work. So that's not the higher ups. You can do a sculpt good or bad, it doesn't cost any different. So there's that. That's definitely a factor. What was I gonna say? Oh, that he can't stand up, he's got loose joints. Something. Maybe that's it.
Right?
Okay. What were you saying? Maybe I was gonna say something off of what you were saying. I don't remember now.
I don't
Oh, the head
remember
sculpts.
either.
Yeah, none of the head sculpts are good. The pants are glossy. He can't stand
They
up.
look weird. I'm not a big Hulk person, but when you took out the other Hulks, I was like, these all look nicer.
Yeah. I mean, I think the sculpt is better on the new torso because the other one had this weird shape to the pecs. This is still weird, but definitely better. He's definitely the best looking Hulk, not counting the heads that they've done in terms of the sculpt.
I
But there's
guess I
still
should
like
make it
60% old crappy Hulk, so
should
that's
make
a
it clear that
problem.
I got no skin in this game. I don't give a shit about the Hulk. I just don't even. I don't care. There's no part of me that cares about Hulk or owning a Hulk toy. So
Yeah.
like, I'm looking at this from an outsider perspective, and yeah, it's really fucked up. Oh shit! I'm
Oh
sorry.
man, we come back after what? It's been a month now, and we start
I've
with
been too used to
swears.
it. I've
Oh
been too
man,
used to it.
that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Um, that's people will think we're edgy, and maybe they will watch more. All right, the next thing, the next thing to talk about was the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. We can talk about that briefly because I already did a video on that. Also, did I get some photos? Yeah, I have some, so I'll bring those up. And I think this one's the most interesting release that they showed. This one is by far the most interesting. The Juggernaut. He's a big, fun-looking figure. But we're gonna come back to this guy when we get to like one of the segments on how the industry tries to lie to you to get you to buy stuff that's not as good as it is, or not as good as it should be. Because like, look at that leg bend. Why even give him articulation at that point? But yeah, I think this Juggernaut looks like it's going to be a fun figure. I don't like a lot of things about it, but I'm very excited for a giant Juggernaut figure. I think that'll be great fun to add to the collection. Everybody says I'm a hater. I am not. I like a good Juggernaut. I like a nice big meaty toy. Brian loves
They can
large
call
action
they can
figures.
Yeah, they can call me a hater because I also don't give a shit about Juggernaut. I don't like big giant.
He hates big action figures. So he
Yes, I
doesn't care
hate.
about this. And one of the things I wanted to talk about briefly was I mentioned in my video the other day that this Juggernaut didn't come out that long ago, and it's been 10 years since he originally released, but Hasbro has not changed in those 10 years. This didn't have to be like some crappy figure because it was so dated. Like 10 years ago, they had the technology to make this guy not look like a giant wang. But he did. They had the low, narrow shoulders and the big high head on the long neck. I mean, relatively speaking, when this is generally what Juggernaut looks like, they made this. So either it's planned obsolescence or they just suck and it takes them a real long time to get better at things. I don't know. But yeah, this one looks way better, and I'm thrilled to add him to my X-Men collection and my Marvel vs. Capcom collection. So I wanted to talk about him briefly. And then I wanted to talk about just a couple other ones, just to give people an idea. If you didn't watch that video, go check it out on the channel. This one I wanted to talk about Wolverine. I'm excited. One of the things I talked about in like I think our first episode was I wanted a new Wolverine, and this is not it. It's close. It'll probably be good enough for now. But single jointed elbows, little tiny flat pecs that taper in like a fish. Like he looks like a frog's chest right here. So that's a little bit weird. But I think it'll still be a fun figure. He's got a decent effect part with a crappy stance, so that's okay. But he can crouch well enough
Yeah,
for the
he
Wolverine
looks really good in
stance.
that pose.
Yeah,
Looks really good.
I like it. The double, I'll be honest, the single jointed elbow doesn't bother me as much because he's got big, meaty arms anyway, so you're not going to get that much range out of a double. I think it's cheap and lazy, and double would give you better range, so I prefer a double joint. But I think that looks nice. I don't think anybody would argue that that's like, oh, that's a horrible, ugly figure. I don't think so. I mean, Brian's not into this stuff at all, but what do you think? You like that?
I think that shot looks really good. I would say like
That looks
I
terrible.
don't know. No, I would say but it's not my style, so I can't actually comment on it. From what I know of Wolverine, it seems like it's pretty accurate. So that's
Yeah.
And one of the
Yeah.
shots, it looked like maybe his legs were too long, but I don't actually know. I'm probably wrong. You know what I mean? But I also prefer
Well,
shorter legs.
this photo, I think it's the angle that's making his
That's what I'm
legs look
thinking. Yeah.
huge. But maybe not. I hope like yeah, if you're absolutely right. If he actually looks like this in like straight on, then that's going to be real real bad. Don't like that. I don't love the way they did his trunks either, frankly, cuz when he bends moves his hips, it's going to look weird, but that's a minor issue. But also, guys, I mentioned this in my
I
video.
would take a look at this over other setups. I like when they just kind of have a gap enough that's like
Yeah.
I get
That's fair.
enough range.
Sure. I don't
Whatever.
want. It's not the gap. I don't like the way they sculpted the blue. Is what I was talking about. Is that
I
what are you
know.
talking about?
I think so. You'd prefer just to be all yellow?
No, I just don't like this straight line. I think if they curved it down a little bit lower on like down on the hip a little bit and curved it just a little bit more,
Oh, okay.
I just think it would
Yeah,
have
I
been
see.
more natural looking when they pose it. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
Because no, his trunks
You
wouldn't
know,
be just a perfect triangle anyway. They would curve around the muscle of the leg and then around the peeper. This is just a straight cut. It's gonna look weird, I think. But
hopefully they don't have
whatever.
drop down hips. They don't look like they do. They look really like they gave it enough space to not need drop down hips.
Well, we're gonna look at that in just a second. But I don't like this. His nose is yellow, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to come to a point. The black's supposed to come way farther this way. So if they leave it like this, that's gonna look terrible, and I'm gonna hate it. But let's see if we can check out those hips. Do I have any more? I don't have other photos. It's this pose right here. I think they have to
Oh,
drop. I think they're gonna drop,
yeah.
just like Spider-Man. Which, if it's only a little bit, it's not gonna be the most annoying thing in the world. I'd rather that not be the case. But it's
This
gonna
is
be their
okay. This
best
is my
Wolverine.
problem with drop down hips on Hasbro. If they were doing like double Paul pegs, which is hard, like the MDLX figures, that would be more fine. But they do these small little hinges and they're using nylon, and nylon is really easy to bend. Uh, so it's like if you're using nylon, just make areas big. I don't think they should be doing drop downs with nylon. Just
Yeah, I mean that's probably true. I I still don't believe you need to do drop downs ever. Just make the crotch soft, make the blue part soft, and it'll be
so
fine.
you can make it so that the torso has a certain amount of range to cover the work for it.
Yeah,
That's typically what I like to do.
you definitely
I
do
let
that
the hip,
too.
I let the legs just 90 at max in all directions, and then cover it with the torso because it's
Yeah,
the most fun for me when I'm dealing with drop down hips. I'm like, well, this is annoying, and I'm worried
yeah.
about things hitting each other and stuff, which is my issue, But that's just how I enjoy things.
Fair points. I don't disagree. Um, I think I'm probably more tolerant of them than you are, but I don't disagree.
Yes,
Yeah, here,
you
you
are.
can see how straight this cut it doesn't match. Like they don't put effort into things. Why doesn't this curve down to the peeper and curve this way too? Down a little bit lower here so you can pose it so that it actually looks like trunks.
He
I'm
looks
telling you,
really
this is the
goofy in the
ineptitude.
package.
It does. It
His
looks real
head,
goofy.
he looks like his neck. I know that Wolverine is a character that looks like he has no neck sometimes, so that's probably
Yeah.
just fine. It's probably just the angle and the lighting.
But for not having a neck, his head's really high. Hasbro manages to screw stuff up. If he didn't have a
It
neck,
looks
it should be
high to you.
lower. Well, if you look at the bottom of his chin, his Adam's apple is all the way down here. So it's not like he has a neck, but his traps also go all the way up, but they also don't look like traps. Like they managed to screw up the anatomy because you can see the Adam's apple. So he has a neck and it's not short. They just make
Who
it
the hell?
weird.
Who's the silver guy?
That's
I don't know
Silver
who that is.
Samurai. That's one of Wolverine's villains.
I I, I was like Shredder. Shredder.
Yeah,
Second.
it's Shredder. It's Shredder. It's the same guy. Okay, let's move on. I don't think we need to talk about MVC. Oh, one more thing. Think this one. I wanted to talk about Venom really quickly because I got a bunch of flack for saying people aren't going to want this Venom. And what I meant to say was this is a shitty version of Blue Venom. I know people want Blue Venom, but his head is freaking huge, real big, and it sits on top really awkwardly, and his arms are gangly, and he's got these legs that aren't. I mean, the sculpt is nice, but they're gummy. Usually, the way they're made is not well. It's just not a good figure. I think people want a Blue Venom. Like it looks decent from the front, but I don't think it's
I'm,
going to be that good of a figure.
I'm gonna comment on Raiden's comment about
Yeah, let's
oh,
let's go ahead and address them.
that's we will be talking about planned obsolescence eventually today. So that's essentially what he's asking about.
That this question here.
The big one.
Yes. You believe in the conspiracy that toy companies withhold making the best version?
It's not
Yes.
really planned obsolescence, but it's kind of. It's like
I think
it,
it is. I mean, it's not.
it,
You're right. It's
I
not
feel like
technically that, but yes. Yeah. I don't think it's as prevalent as it seems. I think these companies get away with as little as possible, and so in order to keep selling things, they have to keep doing more, and so you end up getting better figures. I think that's a big part of it. But I think a lot of it is they have an idea and they're like, well, that might cost too much. Save that for later and don't put it in this one. So we'll make this one less good than we
Yeah.
know it can be, and we'll make a better one later with that idea that's going to cost more. But they're going to have to keep
I
making them
don't
anyway.
I don't think that they're doing planned obsolescence in the same way that like they did light bulbs and printers and stuff because the plastics they use age well enough and they're not determining, well, this should be failing in like 15 years. They're not like, oh, we're going to add some
Right.
self-destructive units into the plastic matrix. So like the technical makeup of it, no, but the stuff behind some other choices, yes. I think it's a conspiracy
Exactly.
theory. It's just corporate.
Yeah, I do. Exactly. I think it comes down to they save their good for the next one. That way they can release one now that people they make it just good enough for people to buy. I think that's their intention. So that's what it is. Let me see this. I think that one uses a lower ball peg in the waist. Yeah, supposedly Wolverine. I don't know why people are saying that. Maybe it's true. Maybe they said it. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I've heard that too. If it does, great. Because if he can lean forward on that ball peg and you can use the hips a little bit, I think that might give us the range. It didn't really look like that. We can go back to it. That might give us the range without the drop down, but it does look like a drop down to me, at least a little bit. And I don't see a lot of. If you look here now, they're not really trying. There's not a ton of range, but it does look like his abs are tucking in under the belt, and he does not have an ab crunch. So you can't see it here. Can't see it here either. I don't have the photos. Oh yeah, by the way, this guy does have a new torso. I didn't mention it before, but he does. Um, yeah, he does not have a crunch, and it this looks like it's tucked in another photo. So I do believe he has a ball peg in this photo. I think his abs are lower there. So hopefully, like Brian said, you can get the abdomen going and the hips, and you should be able to achieve pretty good range without a drop down. Hopefully, that's what they've done. Okay. Is there anything else in this that that I wanted to talk about? I know this is not Brian's thing at all, so I'm kind of running my mouth a lot
That's
here.
okay. I don't mind looking at it because I get to like have a fresh open mind about it.
This wanted to talk about Captain America because I'm not a big honestly I'm not a big fan of a lot of Marvel characters. I'm a Batman and then a select few Marvel, and that's kind of it as far as my big ones that I care about. I don't care about Cap other than it's Captain America, so I'd like, if I'm collecting Marvel, I'd like to have a good one. That seems reasonable enough. And this seems better, but I would like to. I need to turn on my pen. I don't have my pen. You guys can see my cursor though, I think. Guys
Yeah,
in the can you guys see my cursor? I know Brian can on his end.
I can see it on the stream too.
Okay, good. If ever there was a character that could have had a ball peg incorporated without any effort at all, and it would have helped in many ways, it's this one. Even though this wouldn't
Yeah.
be the absolute best cut because it's a little bit high in the back, I think you cut it right along the blue. You don't have to do this. Like, yeah, it's well enough hidden because of the stripes, but you put a double ball peg in this chest and a ball peg down
Hi,
here. This
Coda.
figure's instantly better.
Sorry, I was saying hi to Coda since he
Oh,
said hi. I don't know. I
okay.
don't know if Molly said hi. Hi, Molly.
So
Molly's
yeah,
watching.
they had to do a new
Um,
torso here. Calm down. Stop with the shout outs, or I'm gonna talk more about Marvel stuff and big
I have
figures
a
longer.
list of people. I have a list of people that I got to
Oh,
get
you want to
shouted out.
do it right now? Go do it now so that they can hear you and I'm not
Let's talk
talking over
about
you, and then we'll continue.
let's let's talk about the shoulders, because
I want to talk
here's
about the
what I'm gonna say.
shoulders.
I think stylization for like shoulder sizes is always like if they don't if they're too small but don't look too small, it's fine. In this picture, they kind of are like, but in general, they stood out to me as too small, and that's
Look
when
at
I'm like,
that.
okay, well, yeah, they look too small.
It looks ridiculously too small.
Yeah,
Oh man. Plus, I mean, stylization's one thing, but you have to have the style cover the whole figure. So if the only thing that's small and weirdly tapered is the shoulder, that's gonna look bad. And this is that. Like his arms are fairly thick. He's got big, chunky traps, even though they're unrealistically shaped. But then these tiny little peanut shoulders. It's the weirdest looking thing. But luckily from the front, they do have a decent enough look to them from the front. But it's still, look at this. They have the pecs tapering down, which, okay, kind of. But if you don't have the part that goes up where their butterfly cuts in, it makes it look like you've got little saggy man boobs. And they're flat, and they're connected to these tiny shoulders.
I
I
don't
think
mind
this
the
looks
flat
bad.
the flat boobies as much.
What about the angle of the pecs? Like, yeah, I get people have different shapes, but
The
that's
angle of the
not how
pecs,
he's
the angle
drawn.
of the pecs is weird.
Look at this guy's pecs. That's a decent shape. He looks like he has 60-year-old man muscles that have now gone flat and sag. He's the old guy cutting his grass with the shirt off. That's what it is. Doesn't look bad in this angle. That's a very generous angle. And I guess that's it to talk about for this guy. Oh, they're using old heads, so it doesn't match the game. So screw that. Screw them. Like the shield effect. Yeah. Okay. You don't mind the chest not having any depth? I mean, I don't know.
I prefer flatter pecs than you.
Well, it's not the pecs that are the problem. It's the rest of the chest. They make everything barrel shaped. My problem is it doesn't dip in under the pec, and it doesn't dip in at the collarbone enough. This
Well,
one,
I
it's
would
decent.
say, no, I agree. I would say, but also, I wouldn't mind if this was if it was a ball joint, because I'd be like, well, I understand that you want to make things a little bit sturdier, and so you might flatten out some details because you want, the shell to have some more volume. Um, but it's not going that high anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they could make it that high. They could.
Right. Yeah.
It would work.
I mean, this guy
Work
has it.
quite well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Venom's obviously a lot bigger. He's got the roided out
They
look, but all comic book characters do to some degree, and this isn't that big. So if they just shrunk this down, leaned him out a little bit, this is a much better looking setup with the cut here because it follows the rib cage enough. Then you get better looking pecs. They could have done it. They could have, but they did not.
This person
Okay.
named Tori Black said, "Hi Brian, I love you." And so I messaged Molly and I'm like, "Is that you?" And she's like, "No." And I'm gonna say, "Hello, Tori Black. I don't know you."
Well, you're famous now. You're famous.
No, but it might be somebody I know. It might just be somebody I know who's, you know what I mean. Um,
Could be. Okay. I think that's probably enough for the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. I'll check one last time to make sure I didn't miss anything. Might be
yeah,
good.
Mel's is my girlfriend. The I think that line looks good. And also, I wanted to say, you know how I skipped a bit through your video. You know the big one-eyed green guy. They
Yeah, I'll
did
bring him up.
it looks like the rubber segments are just done by having it so there's just a thin rubber segment, and then there's like some kind of joint or wire, so that's how they can bend so well. It's just a
Yeah, it could be.
thin outer shell of rubber, it looks like.
Probably. You can see at the bottom here.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's
just
got
like
that
a
weird
hose.
kinky bend, and this looks
Yeah.
hollow back here. We'll see. I don't trust them at all. People are telling me there's paint on this. Yeah, there's light green along the vein and darker green there. I don't think there's actually paint here. If there is, that's going to be wonderful. But I think this is just lighting. I can kind of see where it looks like paint in some places. I'll be really surprised if they painted the entire figure. Hasbro never
I
does
hope
that.
they actually use like joints and not wire, because this thing looks like it would be a fun toy. Like if it's joints, it looks like it might be joints. See how there's these hard segments at the one on the
There's this.
left?
Yeah,
The
I
one
see what you're
that's
talking about. I didn't notice that before. I noticed this. I figured they might have just crimped it, but yeah, I see what you're talking about. It's very possible there are joints, but it also looks too fluid. I don't know. However they did it, it seems to be working. That's interesting. Way oversized. He's supposed to be about
he's
as
neat
tall as
looking.
Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah, he's too big. I was gonna say I don't like big
Yeah.
toys, so I
Well, in
probably
the
wouldn't put it
comics,
in.
he's this big, but in the game, he's about like arms and all when he's in like this kind of pose. This might be like Captain America's head just underneath this. So like he shouldn't be huge at
I
all.
just don't think it's wire because it's so big. They're gonna break. Like this isn't like a.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know
I don't
cuz
know.
like some of these look
Molly was the one who said I think she thinks it's all wire too. So
I don't
I
know.
don't
It
know.
could be. It looks fluid in a lot of places, but then you do have these harsh bends and it folds. So it might be hollow and
Definitely looks like it's
articulated.
hollow. It definitely looks like it's like a hose.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like
Yeah, that
that
could
kind
be.
of.
I don't know what else they would do, like, because anything that's gonna be this soft is gonna deteriorate like crazy. Like, like polyurethane foams or something. That wouldn't be a good call. I think you're probably right that it's articulated, and the curves like this, maybe they're just baked in that you just have those always. Let's look. Let's see. Is that always curved? It's this
Hang
one
on,
here.
my dad texted me saying I'm muffled. Am I muffled to you guys?
Sometimes
Yeah.
and sometimes not. I wasn't gonna bother telling you to try to fix it.
What do I sound like
Um,
right now?
Average, slightly muffled, but not too bad.
That's weird.
That sounded all right when you said that's weird.
That's also weird.
That's okay there. Maybe you were just too close to the mic.
No, I'm at the same distance. It's just I'm holding it up differently.
That sounds good there. You're quieter, but you're clearer. Yeah, I think some of the tips are always the same. So I think it is an articulated hollow piece of softer plastic, and then the tip parts just are you don't get to do anything with them. Yes, they include swap out tentacle tips. Uh, okay, good. Good, good, good. All right, there was one super chat, I believe, that I didn't get. Two super chats.
I
All
do
right,
this. I'm not. All
let me minimize this. Too many
right.
donuts for
How do I
sound
sound?
muffled again. Sound the same. It's not
Still good?
terrible. No, I mean it's good enough. It's fine. I don't think people care. It's not like it's annoying or anything. Say something now. Do your shout outs if you want if you want to do your shout outs.
Troy Black. I
Oh
probably
no,
know this
that's
person.
real muffled now. Are you eating the microphone?
No. Hang on.
That got real
Okay.
bad. Did you maybe when you get excited you get close? Is that what's
All right.
happening?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Does it sound? Does it sound better like this?
That's better.
Okay. What about like this?
That's the same as the better.
What about this?
Somewhere in between better and what it was before.
Oh.
I can just turn your volume up if you're gonna use the better but quieter version. That's fine.
No, it's not. I was changing between like the cardioid and the
Oh,
other
that
stuff.
right there, that's good. Keep whatever you have right there.
Oh God, my neck's all the way up.
It should
Okay.
be cardioid. Is that what you're using?
No, because no, Fig 8 seems to be the best. This is cardioid.
That's fine too.
Okay.
We'll see. If it gets muffled, I'll let you know. All right, so let me get this super chat. Too many donuts for $5. Thank you. Someone on Insta said that if Hasbro just shrunk that old 12-inch Hulk figure, it would have been a better release. Also, Brian, I love your MATA revamps. I don't know what that means. Mata?
Mata.
Mata?
Oh, that's my Bionicles.
Oh,
Hello.
he checked you out, or she. I don't know. Cool. I don't like that 12-inch Hulk. People keep saying that, and it's a fine figure, but I thought it looked weird. It was sinewy and strange looking. Not my cup of tea. Let me move on to we got another super chat from the same person. Oh, is it two super chats of the same thing, or did my thing glitch out? Maybe there are two different super chats. Thank you. Either way. All right, back to what we were doing. Oh, did you want to say anything about what they commented on for your
Oh,
Bionicle
thank you.
stuff?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I made Bionicles a long time ago, and people still like them. Am I
Yeah.
muffled?
You were a little bit quiet, so I couldn't really tell. Okay, we're gonna take an hour just to go through the news, but that's okay. People like news. That's fine. Um. Okay, so we got Maximum Hulk, we got MVC. Bandai's going crazy. I want to start off with. We're gonna save Krillin for the last part. I want to start off with the one that may be the most arguable. Okay, so you can talk about the prices if you want to, because the P Bandai prices have always been insane, and these line up basically with what they've been doing. So maybe they're a little bit higher because of the tariff situation. I don't know, but they've been releasing about $100 a figure for a long time. So I'm guessing this isn't that. But even if it is, it's only a little bit. These characters from a mobile game being released at well, one's 110 and one's 90. Um, am I the only person that thinks this is absurd? Like, first of all, does anybody care about the characters? And second of all, that price for these characters seems nuts to me. Brian, do you have input on this?
Sorry, I had to cough. Yeah, these guys look stupid.
Uh, I don't like the designs. They look like they are wearing like old Roman armor almost. It's like, and then a super futuristic trench coat, and like clearly they're just video game characters because they have the plain hair, the red hair, the blue hair. They're just anything. Um, they do look like OCs. Somebody said that one person loves them. I said they love the game, so they're excited. But you love this? I'm assuming it's a free mobile game. Do you love the game enough to spend $200 to get these two knockoff Gokus that look like it's two of the same figure for the most part? I don't. I think this is just straight up crazy. They did it before with their time patroller, and that didn't go over well. It went over well enough because people wanted to use the parts. Then nobody wants these parts, I'm guessing. Maybe the coat. I don't.
I ordered like 3 of these. What are you talking about? It's totally worth the price. You get one
Uh,
figure?
this one with the coat is 110. This guy without the coat is 90. I don't have. I just got a screenshot, but you can see down here this
Pretty
guy with the
weird.
coat. Like the coat comes
Yeah, I
off,
think
but
the designs are bad. I know people like them apparently. Not for me. Not for me.
apparently people were excited. Some people, but I'm wondering like how many people truly can care that much about the mobile game. Like mobile gaming is not like some huge thing. It's not like a mainstream title or something where people have to pay for. Mobile gaming is a thing because it's generally free. And then there's like microtransactions. So to me, this seems like a really strange use of resources. Very, very strange. But hey, if people like it, great. I'm certainly not buying them. Um, no, no way. Okay, and then the next thing I want to talk about for Bandai going crazy. Yeah, it's the whales. That's fine. Whales make mobile gaming, free gaming work. Whales don't make this work because this isn't a microtransaction. This is one purchase and then you're done. So I think Bandai is not paying attention. Okay, the next thing is this. It's a freaking statue with articulated arms. Like that's almost literally what it is. It is big. That's what she said. He can move his arm. He can pick up the Dragon Ball, but not really because if you look, it's not his elbow. It's just
And
the
this is like
shoulder.
something that would just be like a Band Presto statue for like $40 or
Yeah,
$50 with the.
yeah. Same thing with Shenron and Purunga. Like he's humongous too. What the? Where am I supposed to put that? Eh, There's no way that's gonna fit in these shelves. I mean, I don't think. It looks like it's too deep, front to back. I'll probably get it to review it and know that I'm just pissing away my money, but this is just absurd. Unless they photoshopped this wrong, this guy's humongous, but it's still just I'll say it, a shitty
Seems
statue.
like,
It
seems like
doesn't
the
need
bigger
to like
something is, the
what?
more paint it needs. Somebody said that the bigger something is, the more paint it needs. And it's like, yeah, like maybe like $3 more paint.
Yeah.
Like,
F that. Like paint does not cost that much. The application costs. They don't have any fine details on here. Like they're not this is cheap ass paint job. Like he doesn't
yeah.
have any more detail than nail in the arms. Everything else is basic. This doesn't cost anything. Supplies are not the cost for action figures.
I mean, I
Uh,
would I would say like I'd be like if this was like 90, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. You
oh
know what I mean?
sure, for sure, for sure.
But
But this
310 is silly.
he costs as much as Purunga. Purunga was articulated. Purunga
It's probably
talked.
gonna be hollow too. It's gonna be.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be hollow. He's huge. It
Did he
would weigh
come off of the
40
seat?
pounds.
You get to see what the seat looks like at least?
No,
No. You have
every photo is just him sitting there, and the only thing is his arms move at the shoulder. That's it, and his head can rotate. And maybe he's got an alternate head. I don't have all the photos. Yeah, he's got one alternate head. It looks like with the mouth open. Three hundred and
well,
ten
add
dollars.
another $100 for me then. Maybe we should make it 400 for another head. Come on.
That is crazy. I think they actually have jumped the shark. They've lost it.
His
I think
hand
his
lights up?
hand lights up. Well, they didn't show it.
I mean,
Maybe
if
they
his hand lights
distracted,
up, that's interesting, but
but it doesn't
also
cost anything.
I don't know. I don't know who's gonna be. It's probably gonna sell it because it's Dragon Ball. I just
I don't think this will sell out. I don't remember for sure. I told Brian the other day, I think this is right. I don't know if this is true. I don't think Grade 8 Vegeta sold out. I think it ended up going on sale. People liked that a lot, despite it being really cheap and overpriced, cheaply made and overpriced. But then Purunga was also not a success. A lot of people don't want to spend this kind of money for these giant, obscure characters. You don't pose them, people don't want them, I don't think. Not enough to spend this kind of cash on a statue.
and Grade 8 Vegeta is definitely a much more popular character than
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it actually was an action figure. So even though they missed out on painting it entirely, Great Ape Vegeta was fine and just overpriced. This, I would, okay, if I wasn't reviewing, because there's two different things. I buy a lot of things that I wouldn't otherwise buy because I want to review it. I make content, that's what I do. If I wasn't a reviewer, I would even hesitate to buy this for $100 because I don't care about the character at all. And it takes up a lot of space, like a ton of space. That's going to take up half a shelf.
Are you gonna get it because you get the Did you just say that?
What?
Are you gonna
I said
get
I'm going to
this?
get it so that I can review it.
Uh,
I'm gonna if Big Bad Toy Store
sorry.
gets it, I'll get it through them because I get store credit from them. But otherwise, you know what? If I can't get it from Big Bad Toy Store with store credit, I'm not. There's no way I can justify $300 for this thing.
You finally get the break the completionist thing, and then you will be free forever if you don't
Well,
get
no,
it.
I'm already not getting those two dipshits named after very obvious
Well, yeah,
villain
but you
names.
feel you already feel like they're not part of because you're not getting Daima stuff either. So
You're
that's
right.
already like, oh, you know what I mean? But this guy's a main guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, like this is three
So if you don't
hundred
get this, you
dollars cash
finally
is a
are free.
lot.
Yeah, you're
I
finally
think
free
I'll
again.
pass. I think I will have to pass on this if I can't use store credit to buy it. That's too much. That's nuts. Like, there's no way I could recommend anybody pay for this. There's no way it makes sense. It's gonna take up half a shelf, and you can't even do anything with it but this. Like, what's the point? It's not that big of a deal in the anime, even. Like, he's in it. This
Yeah, he's
character's
saying that the
more.
second to last pick, there's a light up feature. Again, light up feature's fine, not $300. I was looking at a
Yeah,
robot that's like $500. I was like, God, it's so expensive, and it's huge, and it's like well engineered and stuff, but it still just feels like it should be like 250 to me. This
yeah.
is
This is
silly.
nuts. Guys, the light up feature doesn't cost anything. I mean, not really. Look at
It costs a
MDLX
little bit,
or
but they make it the Robodo at 30 Ingram figure is bigger than this, has a much more tooling, has light up features in multiple spots, and is like retail 170.
yeah. This is what I was gonna say. Freaky Tiki got it before me. He is more famous from Dragon Ball Abridged. Like, it's not a big character that anybody cares about. I would have a Popo in my collection 1,000 times before I would buy this. Like, who cares about? I didn't even know his name. I don't remember his name. Guru. They keep calling him Guru, and he's got some kind of name. I don't know. But yeah, Popo or Kami, anybody would be better than this. But even the little Iron Man figures from 3.0, they have like 6 or 7 LEDs in it, or maybe those ones only have 2 or 3. Either way, it doesn't cost that much to throw an
They
LED
have
in a
like
giant
3.
ass figure. It's easy.
Yeah. Especially
Costs
when you have
nothing.
especially when you don't have to worry about engineering the space for it because they just can pipe it through the arm on this. This
Yeah,
is
this
not.
is. I could throw 15 LEDs in this guy for like $1.50. LEDs are cheap. Batteries, obviously, you're not paying for batteries, but whatever. Batteries cost some money, and wires cheap. It's nothing. Hey, Crazy Irishman, how's it going? All right, so yeah, this guy's just nuts. Okay, and then the last thing we have to talk about for Bandai losing their ever loving mind is ever loving only the result of editing on TV to get rid of the MF swear? I think it is.
I don't
You know what
know,
I
but
mean?
I'm
Like
sure you find out.
movie. Yeah, I'd have to look that up. Okay, what was it? Oh, Krillin's wiener. So let's talk about Krillin first, just in a general sense. I like Krillin
He
as
looks
much as the
good.
next guy. It looks good overall. I think one thing looks really good and one thing looks really bad. Before I say anything, though, Brian, do you want to comment on this guy?
Um, I think the knees are the only thing that look weird to me. But
That's funny.
uh, I like. He looks good. Like he fits like a certain aesthetic, and he like fits with the newer like Gohans and stuff. I don't like the Piper segment looking like that though. But I don't really care about Krillin, so
But he's
yeah.
little. First you don't like big guys, now you don't like little guys. Come on.
I like Krillin, I don't like bald. Sorry.
You say you don't like him because he's bald?
I love like the Kid Goku go SSJ4 form because he's like a little monkey and he's cool and he like runs like a
Yeah.
little platformer character. I like that. Like think platforming, 3D platformer character. Which I
Fair
guess
enough.
Krillin fits into, but like I don't
Oh,
really care about Gohan that much either. Like I don't
fair enough. I mean, I think they're really scraping the barrel in a lot of ways here. In the Dragon Ball line. I don't know why we're getting another Krillin right now. I get that it's a different version, but Hmm, I don't know. But let's say everybody wants this version, that's fine. The things I wanted to talk about were the knees and the arms. You don't like the knees. I think they look better than the Goku that they showed with the new joints because the way they have the bottom parts kind of tucked in, we don't see big flaps sticking up at all. I think the knees look okay. They're not quite placed the way I would do it because they look really far down on the leg. But I don't think the
yeah,
knees
that's
look terrible. I think they look
which
okay
I
for
mean it
this.
makes sense because they that set your baggy pants sag down as you bend your knee, so I guess that would work. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, but
It was
it,
like 1 or 2
look how
shots, I
long
would
his
say
thigh bone is and how short his shin
yeah.
bone is. Like, it should be longer, but that looks
The
really
flaps,
long.
they just need to stop doing the thigh flaps, please.
Well, that's the other thing I was gonna say is his thigh flaps actually look decent compared to the other thigh flaps, at least. They don't stick out like
I know
Trunks, they
they look
actually
fine,
tuck
they look like
under.
they're gonna be annoying, though.
Oh, yeah, I don't want them. I definitely don't want them. But his go under, which is not typical for them.
Yeah, and then
And then
they're
right
gonna be
here, they're going
going
over, but still
oh,
flush.
God, I hate that. Oh, I would never buy I can't. That's one of the reasons I didn't buy the buff Goku. I was like, "This is so stupid." It's
Oh,
so
Goku's
easy
hips
to
were so wide. Yeah. Go ahead, what were you saying?
don't like
Oop,
when things are just constantly being cumbersome and, like, flipping over onto each other and stuff. I don't like to have to play maintenance when I
yeah.
have something. That's why I look into all the oils and stuff. I want things to just be as seamless as possible, and these hip flaps are not seamless. They are annoying. They go over and under, and I
They're
hate
not
it.
pleasant. I'm sure they're going to be annoying. Here's what bothers me the most, though. His arms look like Legos. Not literally, but they look so disjointed. Even here, I don't know what is happening. Now, it's a
You're
prototype, so who
right.
knows? What
That's
the?
very strange.
What is this right here? If I could swear, because I don't swear on my
They
shows other
maybe
than to
they
say shit
maybe
sometimes.
maybe they twisted it at the wrong point? That's
I don't
weird.
know, but it's bent. It makes no sense. So I'll chalk it up to prototype. And we'll get to the arms again in a second. But also, look at this gap right here. They haven't figured out how to do ball pegs. He's leaning up and away rather than just rotating inside. And you're gonna end up with a huge gap in his back. But let's get back to the arms. Even here,
Yeah, they
why are
look
they
very
so
oh, yeah,
segmented
you're
and
right.
lumpy?
That's weird.
What
Maybe it's
the
because wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm gonna look at some old Krillin art, and maybe they made him look really bubbly.
there's no way his forearms stick out and he has no elbow. There's no way. Although I was wrong about that Goku missing a muscle thing. So yeah, you check that real quick if you want. But they look bad to
Well,
me. Even in this shot right here.
I
It's
don't
just
think
there's no
so.
sculpt to it.
I don't. I think it's just weird.
No
Speaking of which,
sculpt work.
I do want the Kid Goku with the dragon.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look at
40th
these
anniversary one.
elbows. I know what you're talking about. I don't have any. I can look that up in a second.
Yeah, that looks really
They're
weird.
gappy and weird over here too on the outside.
Krillin looks really good in the manga art. He does not look. What saga is this?
This is Namek, isn't it? Or is this Cell? No, this is Namek.
Yeah, that's
Namek,
Namek.
because it's Krillin in or Kid Gohan. Yeah, Gohan in his purple. I believe it's Namek.
So I see
Okay,
like one image where they're a little goofy from what looks to be Namek, but in general, no.
I didn't
I don't
think it
know.
was
I'm
going
gonna
to be.
do the research. Not
I
gonna
miss
actually
the
do the
old
research
art
now.
style. Sorry, go ahead. We keep talking over each other.
No, I think what art style? Which
Not
art style?
trashing figures. Oh, I was saying I like the older art style so much more than the new one. Just as a side note.
Oh, I like the new art style. I just wish they would do some
Saying
like
something.
the Saiyan armor Krillin looks like really good. Same with the Saiyan armor Gohan. Those
Are you
look
talking about
really
the
good.
figures or the artwork?
The figures.
Saiyan Armor Krillin was a piece of shit. I mean, it might look good, I guess, but it was
It
terrible,
looks
if I
good. It
remember.
looks good. Yeah, it's not.
Is that the one that had the painted head? One of the Krillins had a painted head, even though the rest of him was PVC, like bare PVC with shading, or maybe not even shading. I think it was that one. But yeah, I thought so too. I thought it looked good, but then it ended up bad. Did Krillin only wear Saiyan armor on Namek? I thought he had normal clothes first, and then he switched to that. Whatever. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
the
It's
art is
this one.
good, or the figure looks good. The flaps are yeah. Okay, yeah, the flaps are really bad.
All right, let's move on to this.
Oh, I see. I see what you want to talk about.
I
Okay.
don't. There are so many ways you could have done this that didn't look exactly like a cartoon penis. I just I don't understand how. If you want Key Blast coming out of the hands and then turning into like a Y shape, fine. But you made it look like a pair of testes and a phallus. That's not the way to do that. That is of all the ways to do it, this isn't. This is never ever going to be used properly as an accessory. Ever in any photo
Well,
online
I
ever.
like it because I think this is the only reason I'm gonna get this.
Okay, so here's the other thing: is you get this, you get the giant sausage, and testes. By the way, you get the whole package, all the treats, and then they're gonna use this head sculpt. I'm sure, in some way, in conjunction with that. Like, there's no way
Yeah.
this figure isn't just the new Revoltech Woody from Toy Story. Only way worse because it has a giant flaming glowing penis. How? How did everyone at Bandai who saw this pre-production, there's no like they have to change this, right? Somebody has to be paying attention to the internet
Hell
and
no, they're not
saying
gonna
he's
change
got a
this.
glowing yellow penis.
Change its biggest selling point? That's
Well,
absurd.
I mean, they say all press is good press. So if there's 1,000 photos of Krillin holding his giant penis with his yelling face, then I guess that's advertising for him. But they could have easily made this so that the parts coming off of his hands were longer and then merged into a single blast, like a little bit of a curve, not just two big balls. And then this is not something I ever thought I'd be talking about, but what the heck? How? And then even the front part looks, it's so, as they say, sus these days. It's just, and
They don't
okay,
say
so
that
this is,
anymore.
what'd you say?
Don't say that anymore. You're a few years too late. I'm sorry.
Am I? Story of my life. So okay, so this is the effect part they gave him. Am I missing something? What is this pose for? Right?
The peanut.
It's Destructo Disc. So somebody commented.
Yeah,
I have to share it because this is a good one. Right, fine, but he's not like that's he's gonna be they're gonna pose him holding a giant flaming penis above him like a javelin. Like he should have a Destructo Disc, right? In this pose.
yeah.
That's definitely the Destructo Disc
And
pose. He doesn't
everybody and
have that.
everybody who buys a Krillin, they're like, what accessory do you want? Just destructive disc. You want him to have this
Exactly.
funny disc. I don't
What
want
is
him
the
to
other
have
one
this
even?
I don't know.
Not a Masenko. It's not
You
a
should probably
Kamehameha.
find you should probably find where it's from.
I don't get it. No, I don't want it to have a curve. I'm saying curve the two side ones in so that it's a gradual. It looks like a key blast rather than just two nuts and a big wiener. That's not what it should be. That's not what it should
But
be, is
somebody
what I'm
had to have found
saying.
this for it, right? Somebody had to have
Solar
found this first.
flare? Don't they go like this for solar flare or they go like this? Something.
It's,
I don't know what they do. I don't remember. But it's not this.
was the beam
and
he used to kill the Cyberman.
that is something else. It's the beam he shoots at Nappa and Vegeta that curves up and then. So it's just a generic key blast. I, why? And but then they pose him doing the other
You guys,
thing.
any of you guys who know what it is in the server, send pictures in the Discord server to us eventually so that we can look at the penises a little more closely.
I bet you it doesn't look like a penis in the anime. It might in the manga. Yeah, he aims it. I remember him moving it around. They're saying he hits a Cyberman after missing Nappa. But that's in the manga or in the anime. I don't know about the manga. You know what's funny is people say manga, which is basically how you pronounce it in Japanese. I don't hear anybody say anime in the Japanese way. It's always anime, not anime, which is interesting. Why is that? All right, that's
Because
enough about the penis. Sorry, what was that, Brian?
I think it's because we're okay with adapting it as a shortened version of animation.
That's
Because it's
probably
like
true.
actually animation's like actually a part of our language, whereas manga,
Yeah,
there's no part of manga that's,
you're right. That's probably true. Probably true. That makes sense. Okay, that's enough. No more pee talk. And so that there's still more stuff to talk about. All right, we're still in the news and we're at an hour. That's okay. We have to talk about Akarengar. That's your guy.
like a ranger.
Uh, here you
Ranger.
go.
Power
Oh,
Ranger.
where's the photo? I don't have the photo. Oop. All right, I'll just search it. I had it. I guess I didn't transfer it over. Okay, let's do this. Maybe Big Bad Toy Store has them up already.
Type in
Um,
AK. You can just type in AKARENGER into Big Bad Toy Store search. That's fine.
they don't have him. He'd be on the front page, wouldn't he?
I don't.
Yeah, this isn't him. This
No,
is
that's
something
well.
else.
This is by the Weird Evolution toy company that makes weird stuff that is often junk, overpriced. Oh, oh no, Ami. Thanks for showing us that stuff in the.
Whatever.
Oh, we get to talk. We get to talk about JoJo too. This
Yeah,
guy
I do
looks
want to talk about that.
insane.
This figure looks great. I don't know who this guy is at all. Akarengar. That's what I'm calling him, by the way. I will never not call him that when I review him. People will freak out. But I think this looks really good, and I'll probably get it. Are you buying it?
So realistic. I don't know. Red joints scare me, but like it looks so good. I think I might.
It does look
Just looks
really good.
just looks like a little person like Fies did. Like
Yeah,
it
and he's
has
got
that
the
like
cloth
same.
cape. That's really good. It really is. I don't know this guy. Like I know who he is. That's it. But I might have to just to review it. So yeah, that looks really really good. Do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, somebody said it's the first Power Ranger, but not really. It was never localized or adapted by the
Right.
US, but it is the first Power Ranger.
Um. Yeah. So these
And
guys.
remember that. Oh
Go
wait,
ahead.
no, we already talked about it. But yeah, no, it looks insane. It just looks like a little person.
Looks really really good. All of these guys are. They haven't gone up for pre-order stateside yet. That's why I'm on this website. If you see any boobies or something, it's anime stuff. Don't get mad at me.
First press
Um.
limited base. Oh my god, it's 1,200 yen. Why? I didn't even know the.
Yeah, it's really expensive. 1,300. But then we also have the two common riders.
These these are the old sculpts. They need to redo these sculpts. These do not look good. They
I
have
was gonna say they don't look like Seiho figures. I wouldn't bother buying these.
they're like the first Seihos. They are not. They keep reissuing them. They did one where they did the first suit. So he's a little different in the first like 10 episodes or something. I forgot.
Yeah.
But they keep milking this one when this sculpt is not good, in my opinion. The
No, I
arms
mean
look really small.
it's okay, but it doesn't live up
It's
to what they're
okay.
doing now at all.
Yes, no. It was fine when it was released the first time, uh, but not anymore. It's time
Don't
to
want.
redo it. Or just start reissuing the one that was exclusive, which is the one I have of the first suit.
Let's talk about these guys real quick. Well, first, they are reissuing this. I'm not gonna get it. I don't like original Ultraman. I know Brian doesn't either. It's just goofy looking. He's looks like a bag of potatoes
I
to
like
me.
it
I
when
don't
it's
care.
redesigned some other way, but I don't like the original suit. I don't like the big
Yeah,
giant boot thing he has.
I
It
agree.
looks
His
silly.
chest is just goofy. What's this? I like this one.
Yeah.
Right,
And we do get the ultra wide version of him coming out with a different
right,
suit
we're
in
gonna
it.
talk about that in just a second. But let's talk about JoJo first because we did talk about these on a different stream, and the styling is just so off. I'm gonna get him to review them, but they look like fun enough
I
figure arts figures.
cannot
It looks
figure
like
out
they're
what the hell the
trying to
hips are.
be super action statue. What'd you say?
I can't figure out what the hips are because they have like two cuts that look like they would be for hinges, but then the entire thing looks like it's moving from the
Th-
base. Look,
This
look at it.
photo. Yeah. Can
Look at
I?
this
There
photo.
we go. I
It
think it's
looks
a
like it would,
ball.
but then
I
why
think it's a
is there
drop
another
down.
hinge? Why is there
It,
another hinge at the side?
that's true.
Why is there
It
a
looks
gap
like
there?
the hinge here allows for the lateral movement, and this
But then
also
why
does the
is it?
same thing.
It's so
I don't know.
confusing.
It's good old Bandai, and it doesn't even look good. Look at the. I can't zoom in. Look at the flat. What are they doing? It's like they're trying to be super action statue, but not. And then the styling is just way wrong. Get a lot of stuff in the package. That's cool enough. I don't know. I'll get him to review them, but I
He
don't
looks
think this
fine
is.
in that one pose. He looks fine when he's holding the sword.
But I mean, if you know the source material, it's not accurate at all.
I don't know the source
Right.
material.
That's the thing. Like, it looks fine if it was accurate, but it doesn't have. Like, it's just not accurate. It's close-ish. I think this one's even worse. Where is it? I hate. There we go. This does not have the right style at all. They didn't go to the foo-foo looking stuff until way later. And he's got like the weird hips out pose. Like they kind of did that stuff, but I don't know. It's just not the. It's not right. He's got the same. Are they using the same legs? Go check. Looks like they might be. That is a weird. Weird. What if it's just a floating cap and there's like a thing that goes
That's what I'm
through?
thinking too. Is it a cap? But it's so strange. But yeah, like look, it's bent out now. It's so I don't understand. I don't understand what they did. It might be something that makes a lot of sense when you have it in person, and then it'd be
Maybe.
like, "Whoa, interesting."
Shoulders
But
piss
I
me
don't know.
off. Shoulders piss
I
me
don't
off real bad. I don't like it
shoulders.
when the shoulders have a thing in here and then the whole other part, the whole muscle part is a separate piece. It's not going to have good range. I mean, it might have good range, but it's going to look disjointed. Okay, it goes
Yeah,
up.
I definitely like. Are you gonna get one of these to review it?
Yeah, I will. Although the JoJo stuff doesn't honestly do good doesn't do good viewership, but I'll try it. But yeah, see, it's not as bad as a Revoltech, but it flares the arm out and it gives you this weird skinny thing. Which okay, you could say it's like the under part of the armpit, but it's not going to look like that. It's going to look disjointed and strange. So
Weren't you gonna review the DLX Bumblebee and stuff? What happened
I
to
don't
that?
know. I have them sitting right over there. I don't really feel like reviewing. They're so mine are so damn stiff. I can't barely pose them without knocking pieces off and having to reglue them. I don't really feel like reviewing that. But I have Optimus and Bumblebee right there. I was
Oh, I
planning
didn't
on
know
it.
they were that stiff.
Mine
That
are
sucks.
some of the joints are ridiculously stiff. And I did have to glue. Was it B? Was it B or Optimus? One of them I had to glue. Oh no, that was it was the modern Optimus, the Rise of the Beasts or whatever it was. I was messing with him and a whole big chunk broke off. I had to glue it.
Oh,
Okay, so weird joints. I want to see if the legs are the same real quick. I think they might be. Look at the wrinkles. There's 3 wrinkles on the outside of his quad. Oh, they're different. Very similar. Okay, and then Usopp actually looks fantastic. He looks like he's going to be the best release. They finally did simple joints for the shoulders, arms, legs, knees, torso, standard cuts. He's going to be the best one of the line, I'm telling you right now. They didn't do any of the weird shit they did for Luffy with his hollow shoulders, the Revoltech style. He's going to be Usopp's the one. So take that for what you will. If you like Usopp, you win. I don't know if people like Usopp that much. But
that was like Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z.
yeah,
This was like such a good release. And it was like, well, that's great, but
Yeah.
who the hell cares?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Arthur. Arthur, we're gonna have to talk real quick. Where to go? Revoltech shoulders are the best shoulders.
No.
Eh. For what? 'Cause- eh,
They're annoying to use and they look bad. But if you like the range they give you, then I don't know, enjoy.
Yeah, I don't
The
think you could
the
ever in any. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the new Revoltech Deadpool came out, the like 2.5 or
Yeah,
3, I don't know.
I'll be
And
reviewing it.
it looked cool to me, but people having QC issues with joints popping out and stuff. And it's like, well, that's okay. So I'm not
That's
gonna
what
do
they
that.
sell. That's what you bought. They're reissuing all these guys too, so that's cool. All right, we have to go back to
DeLorean
this one. This one right here. We have our
is
regular Tiga right here, and now we have the power type in the fat guy in the new colors rather than the all red.
I
So
was
if you're
watching
into
some
that,
clips of him and like some of his main photography doesn't quite look that like that, but when you see him in action in the show, he does look, more like that. I think they scanned him and he's older now because his thighs were bigger in the show and his torso
that makes
wasn't as
sense.
thick. And obviously
Yeah,
as you get older, your torso's gonna, you know. So maybe that's why it looks like that, but he does mostly seem to look like that in the show. So
not for
yeah,
me.
I had no
Not gonna.
desire to get. I don't want thick, chunky. Big.
Nope, not for me. Are you gonna show the waifu Ultraman? What does that mean? Waifu Ultraman.
Is it
Oh,
new?
I don't know what that means.
Wife? Do you know what a waifu is?
Yeah, it's anime
There's
wife.
a. So I think maybe there's a female Ultraman that was shown. I don't know.
Not that I've seen. I mean, I
Why
know
would you
that
need a waifu
exists, but
Ultraman when you have thick Ultraman? Come on.
am I ever gonna do more reactions to collections? Yeah, that was actually pretty fun. But I don't know when. But yes, we will do more. Okay, that covers all of the news except for the last thing. We're gonna end up doing a lot of news here, and I think we can get through the other part fairly quickly, so that's fine. Like I said, I don't want it to be like a lecture talking about, hey, this is how you need to analyze product photography and all that. We're just gonna talk about it a little bit. I have just an outline so that we don't miss stuff. Um, they changed suit actors in the show. Yeah, I know. That's why they have a chunky one. We're talking about this now. Because I want to. Jada's one of my. Jada. Vega is one of my favorite characters in all of everything, even though he's kind of a weird character. I love the character design because it's simple and iconic and memorable and fun. And it's not just a guy in street clothes like half the characters are nowadays. Everything new. Boring. So boring. Okay, so let's talk about this guy. I think he's in some ways the best looking Jada figure to date. He doesn't have quite as blocky of a body. He's still pretty thick though. Legs are really thick. Brian, I'll just ramble for a minute and then you can comment or you can interject whenever
Yeah.
you
No,
want.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, I don't know how I feel about the cloth sash. I get it. My problem is when you start adding cloth when it's not capes, because the cape is a separate piece from the rest of the body. It's in the background most of the time. It's usually for silhouette purposes. That's fine. When you start putting cloth in front of plastic, which is meant to be cloth, the pants, I have some kind of problem with that. This doesn't look bad, and maybe it'll be fine in person, and you can kind of ignore it once you pose him. But once you start mixing media on top of each other, it bothers me. I don't know how you guys feel. You can let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it. But I think this figure does look for Jada really good. Is it perfect? No. It's still thick and kind of strange in some ways. His face is better. He's got a kind of a cross-eyed thing going here. I wouldn't worry about that too much. But I like his overall physique. I don't think his bicep is mushed in as much. I think he's got a little bit better of the V shape going on here in the torso, probably out of necessity to make him look good since he's shirtless all the time and has to be fairly slender. I don't like this. I don't know why they're adding a cut here. I don't like that. They did that on Blanca, but it was hidden. On him, it's not. You can see here, not a good photo. He's way too square. That doesn't look good. I don't think that's going to be a problem though once you pose him. But he does have the gold claw if you want that. That's cool. I like that he's got the unmasked head with the mask accessory and the masked head because I think if they actually made it removable, I'm hoping this is the case, it would be too big. So I hope this isn't too big and it fits on his head nicely. Like it looks normal. I think it looks really, really good for a $25 figure. I am thrilled that they didn't screw up Vega. Maybe he's a little thick in weird ways, but overall it looks really good and I'm excited. Okay, I'm done rambling and I got through all the photos, so you can add whatever you like.
I don't know anything about Vega.
Does it look okay to you as an
Yeah,
action
yeah,
figure?
yeah. The one where just yeah, looks good.
Oh shoot, they put the tattoo on the wrong arm. Um and the claw. Is it supposed to be on the Yeah, you're right. The tattoo is on the wrong side. Is it? I'd have to see. It might have changed in different games. Let me check that because I'm pretty sure I thought about this when they first showed him, and I don't remember being settled on what's right or wrong. Let me look that up. Sorry, I was reading a comment. I wasn't. No, no. Okay, good. I don't want that.
Can you hide your screen for like? Is there a button? Just hide your
Yeah, I
screen.
can just do this, but it's not logged in. But I already set it up to not open on this window, but freaking Windows will never do what I want it to do. That's why I logged out though. I logged out beforehand just in case. Um, Really annoying. Windows will never save on certain apps or whatever you call them. It never saves the screen play thing. All right, let me look up Vega. Anyway, were you saying anything about the figure as far as you could tell?
Looks good to me.
All right, so is it always the left? See, on this one it's the right. Here's the right. Here it's the right. So I think yeah, I think when I looked this up before, it's like it's never consistent. Now he's got the silver claw here, but the tattoos on this
Right
side,
with
claws and
the-
everything. They did it the same way as Figure Arts. Here's this photo. Yeah, there's plenty of versions where it goes back and forth. Tattoos on this side, arm things here, but claws on this side. And then we have this version where the claw and this thing are on this side, tattoos on this side. I don't think there's consistency ever. This one has the tattoo there, claw there. That's one of the older artworks, if I remember correctly. There's this one. Yeah, this one has it reversed. You could go back and forth. This one has it the way they did it in the on the figure, but he's got the gold claw. So here's why they do the gold claw. I don't think they should have done gold personally. I get it, but whatever. But yeah, this has it on the other side, so I don't mind.
He said Jada instructed Capcom all the way. So
Capcom told them how to do it. Yeah, they did the same thing with Ryu with the wrong color gloves. So it's not like you can't blame Jada for these things. There's no Capcom does not do that. Capcom's telling them what they have to do.
yeah, Nintendo does that too, and it
Yeah.
they screw up some releases
Because
because they're
this one's opposite too. You're gonna go back and forth. This has the gold drawing, but I guess they want it on the right hand now. That's why it didn't bother me when I looked it up the last time. It goes back and forth, and I'm telling you, if it looks the same as this one, it's because Capcom's saying you have to do it this way. Do it the way we say, for whatever reason we say it.
that's interesting. Capcom's weird. Where are the Resident Evil figures, Capcom? I don't even like Resident Evil, and I want you guys to make them because I know so many people who want Resident Evil stuff. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. What's going on? Why won't they do
Yep.
it?
Here it is on the other side again. It seems to be more on the left than the right. I'm not sure why Capcom has switched everything to the right. Maybe just because I think it's this game forward, he's had it on the right hand side. Maybe that's all. That's why Ryu's gloves are the color they are. Because in modern games he's got that color. But then in this, which I'm pretty sure this is contemporary, isn't this coming like present time? This Street Fighter Duel game or whatever it is, it's on the left again. So yeah, I don't know, but I can't fault Jada for it. I'm not gonna figure for it either. Um, I think it's interesting how well Soda did matching this one particular. Where'd it go? No, it's not here. Their figure is a little lanky. Where did that artwork go? This one. It matches this surprisingly well. They did a good job.
Oh yeah, it does.
Especially for the time and their janky articulation and whatnot. They did a pretty good job. None of them really match Jada's, or Jada doesn't really match any of them. Jada's is a little chunky. And I like Vega to be muscular, but his legs are usually slender, and they don't really, I think they really got it quite right. See, this isn't exactly it, of course, but he's pretty thick. Either way. Cool. Okay, that's probably enough of that. I will minimize this so I don't have to freak out just in case personal information. Um, that's it for the news. Now we can move on to collecting tips. So this is just going to be us talking, and I can Google stuff if we want to add to it. And you guys can ask questions, and we'll try to respond to them as much as we can. Now that I'm not looking at stuff, it'll be more conversational, and you guys can weigh in the comment section. Okay. Listen to the fans. We will be anal about details. Well, listen. Let's you keep your private life. No. I don't know who you're saying that to exactly, but you can't listen to the fans always. And a lot of times people don't know what they want. They have too many choices and it's a problem. So on one hand, I agree with you completely. And on the other hand, if I can say without stuttering, I don't. So these collecting tips that I wanted to go over, I pulled these from one of my old videos. And you guys may want to check it out. I'll post it maybe on my YouTube channel. But these are just general tips to help you enjoy collecting more. And when I made this, it was really just to get views. I mean, they're good tips. It was a genuine video, but I made this video because I thought it would get a lot of viewership, and it did okay for the time. But I think it's true even more so now than back then because prices, even before the whole tariff situation, prices were going up and up and up and up, like way faster than they should have been, if you ask me. Quality has not been keeping up. Okay, so quality hasn't been following the prices. In most cases, we have a few outliers like Jada popped in with really good quality product for a reasonable price, but mostly, like we saw with Krillin and his penis and the big statue guy and anything Hasbro puts out, the quality is just not keeping up with pricing. So, this is a good way for you to enjoy collecting more. These tips will help you enjoy your collection even just a little bit more. Okay. And so I'll just kind of give you the tip, and then Brian and I will talk about it, and you guys can weigh in however you want. So the first tip is, and I guess we can go back to, been doing this all night, so maybe we won't talk about this too much. Look really closely at the solicitation photos, the photos that the companies share with the retailers. Um, they are trying to sell something. They are not reviewing it. Their photos are not made to hide, or they're not made to show problems. They're made to hide problems. So if you spot problems in those photos, they're probably going to be a bigger problem in real life. And if something, say it that way, look for the articulation. How many times have we seen photos of figures that look really dynamic and then it's really just a character standing, but the camera angle is down really low? So, I don't know, Brian, can you, do you have any memory of noticing figures in solicitation photos that is like, yeah, that's definitely not as good as they're trying to make it look, and I'm not going to buy it because of that. I'm guessing you have a lot of those, but maybe you have any. Do you have any
Um,
that stand out to you?
when they did Real Action Heroes Link, the Skyward Sword Link, his
Yeah.
tunic looked really nice. However, people suspected that Nintendo was like, no, it's not the right color because it was sort of a pale. You type in Real Action Hero or just yeah, Raw Link and then Skyward Sword. So if okay, look at the first photo. Look on that. You see how that looks nice?
Yeah.
Click
Oh.
exit.
Oh wait, that's not it. Yeah,
That's not
go
it.
ahead.
That's like a click
Yeah.
exit. Now click the one that's like in the second row, the third to last.
No, that's not it.
Third.
This one. I can count. I can count. I got scared. I
That's
got
what the final
confused.
one was. No,
Holy
the
crap,
left.
that's not it.
The left image.
This
That's
guy
the
right here
final one.
is that?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's like this thick felt. It's I don't think it's actually felt, but it looks like felt and it looks terrible. And the final product was that, and I canceled my pre-order. So it's like, what? Because I
Well,
really
the
like Skyward Sword Link.
that's definitely a problem. That's just
People have
straight
made
up false
custom ones.
advertising though.
that you can buy and stuff, but it's yeah, it's pretty crazy.
All
Uh,
right.
s
Well, I'll note that that doesn't exactly exemplify what I was talking about. That's just really false advertising. That's ridiculous. I've never seen something quite that bad. I'm talking more about like a company poses something in a way that hides all the problems. And I have one example that I can bring up, and that
I
would be
probably do.
this.
Yeah, I definitely most of mine is just like oh, yeah. Mine's just like, things that are very different from promo to final.
Well, that's a good example for one of the other points. So save that. We'll come back to that one. Look at this. There's no way in heck. There's no heckin' way they accidentally put his armpit in shadow. That is on purpose. When you can't see a figure in the
Yeah,
solicitation
I've actually
photos,
seen, like, some Bandai stuff I've seen some stuff where things are, like, photoshopped
oh
lately.
yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Because look at this. His arm is
yeah.
atrocious. It's one of the worst things ever. And this popped into my head immediately. Every photo of this
It's
guy holding
actually,
his
like,
sword,
one of the worst figure arts ever.
it
Like,
is. It's
it's, like, loose everywhere. It's like, what happened?
every single photo of him holding his sword is screwed up, and theirs has the like clearly just Photoshop shadow on it, or they really set up their lighting perfectly. It's just atrocious. So pay attention, guys. If you see a solicitation photo where the figure's only in shadow, or all of the shots have crazy Photoshop around them to make it look all dynamic, it's not going to look anything like that. It won't. Not even close. Not even a
It
little bit
makes me
close.
they do, like what's with Mezco and their 112th line where they make everything softer in the photos and the faces always look photoshopped? Because their
Uh-huh.
final faces typically look good, so I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know because I don't follow Mezco that much. I know their photos are heavily photoshopped though, like throughout the
Yeah,
entire, like everything, and you can't see the figure at all. But that's a good example. Pay really close attention to the solicitation photos. This is a good example with the shadows or really good orientation so that you don't see problems on the figure. But then it's also for articulation. We can go to Big Bad Toy Store for this and maybe just click a random thing. And this is one to look out for sure. I clicked on an advertising. Um, Hasbro stuff. Let's see if they did any on their new Fantastic Four. Um, well, this isn't a good example because this might be the worst set of solicitation photos I've ever seen. Like that figure is
God,
just not good looking. And what is they did a bad job. They did a
this
real
looks so
bad
bad.
job. But it's like here's the ass. Pay attention to this. Look at her getting like weird poses. Like this isn't a great example of what I'm talking
It
about,
looks
but I
so
just had
bad.
to bring this up. It looks ridiculous. Um, it's usually like they're in a standing pose, but the camera angle's funny. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find one on the fly. I wanted to see if I could.
Somebody said
Well, here.
Mezco Doctor Doom can't cross his arms, but in their promo shots it has him doing it, so that
Well,
would
there's
definitely
definitely that. There's definitely a lot of false advertising, but here's one. Every single photo of this guy is him just basically standing. Like this is not a dynamic pose. So don't buy it thinking you're going to get a lot of range out of it. They couldn't even do it in the solicitation photos. So pay attention. Don't just think it's going to have look at it's got all these cuts and joints and everything. Don't
never
just
in
accept
my
that.
life would I ever buy a Fantastic Four toy. The movies are fun, but I just have no desire to own one of these guys.
I, man, is anybody actually interested in this movie other than Fantastic Four, like super fans? Because to me, they're at the bottom of my list
The movie
completely.
looks fun, but, like, does it look like am I, like, really interested? No.
I don't.
No.
I mean, to me, it doesn't even look like fun. It looks like it might be okay, and it's like because it's superhero stuff. I guess it's fun in that sense, but I don't know
I like
how
the
they did the casting.
retrofuturism art style. Um,
Is it that though? Like, is it
and
actually
stuff, with the
retrofuturism or
cars
is it
and
just
stuff.
bad retro? Like, I can't
No,
tell.
I love retro no, I've been studying a bunch of retrofuturism for a project I've been doing with Molly and Vio lately. It is. It's its own version of it, and it's clearly looking at very specific things. I like but, like, a lot of the old retro art, a lot of, like, ships and things used very simple shapes, just just circles and stuff, and it looks like it kind of incompetent, but at the same time, it has such a specific charm to it that I really like it. I wanted to start studying it more.
Okay,
Um,
well, that's good. I mean, that's cool. I hope that it's It is a purposeful thing, and they're actually doing something specific, not just half-assing it. That's good. But I don't think the castings. We'll talk about the movie very briefly. I think the casting's terrible for all of them. Sue's okay, I guess. This guy, somebody said, is that Ellen? The figure, I don't know. I don't think they did a good job casting any of the characters personally. I don't like the CGI, and I'm just not interested in it. I hate everything. I'm the guy that hates stuff, so whatever.
Me
Okay.
and me and my dad watched a documentary on Fantastic Four, the one they didn't release in, like, the '90s,
Mhm.
a movie that was made that was just like a money laundering or something,
Yeah.
and that made me interested just to want to see Fantastic Four iterations just to see what they decide to do with it, but I don't actually like, when I saw the Fantastic Four movie when I was a kid, I did not give a shit.
Yeah.
Um,
They weren't particularly good movies, if you ask me. Um, if it was a good movie, you might have cared more. I think they were fine movies, but they had that certain. I don't know. There were groups of superhero movies that I thought just kind of didn't have the right appeal. Were they supposed to be
yeah.
dark and gritty, or were they supposed to be cartoony, or what? It was like some kind of weird mix across them, and I didn't care for it.
Well, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, man, I think those have aged as the best superhero movies in my opinion.
I
Spider-Man 1
haven't
and
seen him
2.
in forever, but I would believe that for sure. But yeah,
I
this
watched
guy's a weirdo. Sorry, somebody commented saying this guy looks like a weirdo. Johnny Storm is supposed to be a playboy, super attractive, like
Yeah, they
the
had
kind of
what's his
guy
name?
everybody wants to
Captain
be.
America
Yeah,
play the original one.
and now they have this guy that actually does look like a lady. He looks like
Yeah,
Ellen
very,
DeGeneres. It's a weird
very
choice,
weird.
a weird casting. What'd you say?
I said it's very weird, I agree. Because Chris Evans was the original, and he fits perfectly.
Yeah, he was a perfect Human Torch, and now they have this guy who looks like a cosplayer. Maybe they got it from Hasbro. Okay, so the next thing is this one's gonna sound like it's a self promoting thing. Uh, you can wait for reviews. Most figures don't sell out these days. Wait for reviews if you're not sure. If you're a
Other
discerning
than the
person
Mach
but don't know
5.
how to what?
Other than the Mach 5
Yeah,
that didn't
some
have a
things sell
choice.
out. Obviously, some things do. That's the way it goes, but oftentimes they don't these days. And you don't have to even watch my reviews. If you don't want to, you can waste your time. I mean, you can watch other reviews if you want to, but if you're not sure, wait for reviews because promotion shots never look like the final product and they're trying to sell you something. Reviews should be trying to give you information, not trying to sell you something. So, one of the other points is find a good reviewer in the original video. Not in this one. You find whatever reviewer you want, but you can wait for reviews. Most of the time, things don't sell out. Figure arts these days, they almost never sell out. Like they do, but then when they actually come in stock, there's plenty. So you don't have to pre-order. You don't have to worry about things selling out most of the time, and you have to be okay with it if you don't end up getting one right away. Which is actually another point is there's no rush. You don't have to buy everything as soon as it comes out. You don't have to buy everything. You don't have to pre-order. Take it slower. Calm down. Don't let hype make you make bad decisions because then you end up with figures in your
That's
collection you're not going
something
to
if
enjoy.
people are, like, doing it out of hype, like, the new thing, I don't do that. So, like, I
No.
that's something that I don't understand, and I guess I shouldn't say anything then because I can't empathize with that quality, but, yeah, I do find that strange.
Yeah, well, it's not productive, and we're going to talk about that a little more if we have the time to get to it. In one of the fallacies, like with social media, these companies are definitely purposely making it seem like things are going to sell out. Things are super popular, they're trendy, they're cool. Bip, bap, bam, everything's flashy and cool, and you don't have to worry about all that. It's not like Maximum Spider-Man. Oh, it's sold out. It's sold out. It sold out 30 times before it came out finally and is readily available or still for pre-order or whatever. Like just don't. Just don't. If you're not sure, if you're sure, then do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm trying to help people that are like, I don't know what to do. There's 1,000 figures coming out every day. Calm down, wait a minute. Don't let them get you tricked up with the hype. Forget hype, which is another point kind of. Don't follow trends. Trends don't work in a collection. You will not care about something that you bought because it was trendy if you don't actually care about the thing in the first place.
You mean you don't like my Funko Pop collection?
Okay, so that's the thing. Like, if you really like Funko Pops, knock yourself out. But
Yeah,
let's
but most
say,
people are like, "Oh, they're gonna have resale values." Like, no, they're not. You guys are all
oh,
buying them from each other. You
yeah, well,
uh,
that's actually another my second po all these points lead into each other perfectly. So don't follow trends because you're not gonna care about the thing unless you care about it before the trend. Once the trend dies, which is what trends do, you won't care about it anymore, so don't do it. What Brian just said, they don't have resale value anymore. Almost nothing has good resale value anymore. Yeah, sure, some few things do, especially the more unique items. If they are limited production and they're not from a bigger company where they're going to get a re release or something like that, yeah, sure, some things have more resale value, whether it's in the box or loose or whatever. Sometimes you can make a buck or two, but most of the time, these things drop in value, like almost immediately. Almost always, especially if it's something from Hasbro. There's some popular
yeah, if it's like
characters out there, but
there's definitely like a lot of figure words go up in price and stuff, but like Hasbro stuff, no. No.
yeah. Well, I mean, so like some Hasbro do, like you can't get a Hulk right now for less than the maximum Hulk. Um, but if you wait, which it goes back to the other point, there's no rush. If you wait, there will be another one. And every time another one comes out, the other ones get cheaper. Just wait, calm down. You'll be able to get what you want at a reasonable price. Some things do go up. Figure arts used to. I mean, some still do, of course, like the more special ones. But most of them are getting reissues these days. How many times have we seen reissues on like the last 50 figures in the Dragon Ball line? Not
Yeah.
all of them, of course, but like when they first came out, they weren't reissuing anything like for the first 10 years or something. And so you could
Yeah.
get pretty good investment. Like the original SDCC Goku, it was like 300 bucks for a while, and maybe it still is, or maybe it's gone down. But
I wanna
nowadays,
get the Awakening Goku. I wish prices on that didn't suck right now.
they'll make it again. They'll re-release that.
And I'm worried that
Um,
the buff version is gonna become the standard and they just won't release the other one.
it's possible. Like, yeah, this isn't foolproof, of course. There's all kinds of variables, but as a general rule, don't buy these for investment purposes. Buy them if you enjoy them only. That's it. Don't buy them to make money because you never know. You could very well lose money. And yeah, sure, sometimes it's a good ROI if you buy, I don't know, like let's say Guru, $310 Guru somehow sells out immediately. It won't. Um, the secondhand market goes up on that. You're going to have a really good return on investment if you want to sell it. But even then, selling's hard unless you're going to do it through Facebook, which is sketchy. Um, if you don't have a platform like I do where I can do my sales just because people are going to see my video, you have to go through eBay. Well, there's fees out the ass now. So you're going to lose 20%, 30% in fees, shipping costs. Even if they go up 50% in value, you're not making 50% return on investment. Don't buy figures for investment purposes. It's not a good idea. You won't enjoy it. Buy what you enjoy, and that's it. Unless you're a store, then buy them at wholesale and sell them. Okay. Toys aren't good investments. There's no rush. Don't follow trends. Wait for reviews. The last one is this isn't Pokemon. I've made funny titles up for myself. I would remember. You don't need them all. Absolutely an important thing. Like Brian was mentioning to me before, if I can break myself out of being a completist or a completionist, whichever one you prefer, you don't need every figure in a line or in a wave or from an IP or anything like that. It's not a
Very
good
happy.
habit to get into.
It's
So
just
hard to
something that
break
would
out of.
never play for me. I even buy 1 turtle when I buy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, I very happy this doesn't affect me, because other things do, and if this was a problem for me, it would be a big problem.
it it's hard if you are that type of person. Like if it's one of those things where if you don't start, it's fine. If you do start, it gets hard, and these companies know it. Like Hasbro, for instance, they are purposely designing their waves to make people want to keep buying their figures. I
Yeah,
know a lot of people are getting
Jada
out, and that's good, but
Jada's Scooby-Doo line is like, "Oh, we're releasing one main cast member per wave." It's like, "Guys,
yeah,
come on."
yeah, that's what they do. I don't think it's a wise way to collect. Now, if it's something you love, like for me, it's One Piece or I don't know, Halo. Even Halo, I don't do it. There are certain things I like a lot where I'll just buy everything that goes with it because what the hell? And if I end up not wanting it, I'll sell it or something like that. But really, think hard about what you want in your collection. Don't just buy it because it's connected to something you like, or you're going to end up regretting it. And I have a person close to me in my life, I won't say who has sold their entire collection multiple times. Because most of the time, the collection is a bunch of things they don't really care for that are connected to a few things they do. And so it's not usually a good way to foster an enjoyable collection experience. It's usually like more of a compulsion, a feeling of obligation to buy more stuff and have more stuff, and then you get it and you don't even care. So try to avoid that. Try to just get what you like, and you'll probably enjoy it more. Completionists have neat collection setups though. Why? Why? Why do you say that? Just because they have more
Well,
stuff?
if you guys have a bunch of money, go ahead. I don't we're just we're
Yeah, these are
obviously, we're not
tips for.
talking
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
we're not talking about people with a bunch of money like that. We're trying to tell people who don't wanna do it and or, like, feel the compulsion to do it, not, like we're
Yeah,
not trying
I
to be
mean,
like, "No, you can't do that."
the advice is not for everyone. If you're a reviewer, for instance, this doesn't apply to you at all. Half the stuff I own, I wouldn't have purchased if it wasn't for reviewing. I like a lot of it, so I keep it. But no, I mean, this is advice I would find useful if I was just a regular person and not somebody. And I don't mean like I'm not a special person. I have a special circumstance where I end up with extra shit. Is my point. So if I wasn't the person with the extra shit, I would follow these rules like I did before I was a reviewer. um, you definitely want to. I don't. He was responding to me. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm just talking in general. Capybara. I don't know who said what. I mean, I know one person said something about completionists, and yeah, like it's fun to have like a whole line of figures, and if that's what gets you going, then that's fine. But if it doesn't, it's going to leave you with an empty wallet and a busy shelf of things you don't like. For instance, even as a reviewer, I've got 2,000 Marvel Legends. I don't know, almost literally every one of them that isn't MCU. I don't care about 99 of them, 99% of them at all. If I sell it off, which I'm going to at some point, I'll keep like all of the X-Men characters, maybe like one of each, but I definitely don't care about random side character, D-list character number 3 that I got because he was part of a
Darwin?
wave.
You're gonna keep Darwin, though. Just
Oh,
because
I have like
Darwin's
15
funny now.
Darwins still. Because when I was streaming before I moved, I was giving Darwins away, and I bought them for like $5 a piece at at Best Buy. So I have like 15 Darwins still in the box. They're all beat to shit, but yeah, I'm gonna keep Darwin for sure. Um, a new basement tour? No, there's nothing to tour. I have toys everywhere. It looks like a toy store exploded in here. It's nuts. I once I get my shelving done, like once I fill them up, sure. But anyway, this is tips for people who are starting collecting or don't know what to do. Maybe they're not enjoying their. I hear this every day in my comment section. I'm starting to not collect as much stuff. People are saying this all the time. Things are getting too expensive. Things are getting not as good quality for the money. They're getting to have. We have too much stuff now. And I don't mean that in a general sense. I mean 10 years ago, we didn't have 30 lines of action figures to collect that were all about the same scale. It wasn't a thing. Now there's 15 different Spider-Mans coming out from every company every day. Not literally, but you get my point. There's too much going on. So this is advice for somebody who is trying to limit themselves or trying to get the best collecting experience without spending all of the money in the world. You want to drop a milli every couple of weeks on action figures, you buy whatever you want. Throw them in your mansion, have fun. You don't need advice because it doesn't matter to you. These are tips for people who don't have those
Let's
luxuries.
Anthony, let's change it. Let's change the image on the screen.
Why?
I hate seeing this guy. Type in SAS.
How about this pose though? Does this help?
No, go into the search bar. That one, type in Sasurar AIGER.
Not a real thing.
I want that, but it's $500. He looks better
Pretty
in other.
cool.
You got to look at the. He looks better when he's like in dynamic shots, and people.
There, look at that ass. See, this is what I'm talking about. They're showing you the goods, trying to get you to want to buy the thing,
These are just
but
3D renders. This thing
don't.
looks fine in person. It looks like I want it to be. It's it's like blank plastic and stuff. That's
No, it
what I
does look
like.
cool. It does look cool.
Um, but
I don't
it,
know what
yeah,
it
it's
is.
this thing sold out on like pre-order in Japan, but then all they showed was like 3D renders,
Well,
which
either
is
Big
crazy.
Bad Toy Store didn't buy very many, or it's popular here too. It's pretty cool looking.
Uh,
Okay,
I
we
That's
we have a
okay.
few minutes left. I want to talk about some of these toy industry lies, which is I think I titled it that somewhere to get viewership. I don't know. These are industry tricks based on logical fallacies. This is the concept anyway, for the idea. So we've already touched on a lot of this stuff because those tips cover it, but the whole bandwagon thing, they're using social media guys to make things seem super popular. If you want to, and not only to seem super popular, but you guys have probably noticed, at least in the last whatever, since COVID specifically, even people are starting to identify more and more by the groups they participate in. And I'm not talking about politics and that stuff, although probably that too. I just mean like social media, Facebook groups, fan pages, things like that. They're using these things to make it so that if you don't buy this new toy, you are not part of new group or current group or popular group or whatever. The Hasbros have their own group, and Hasbro knows that, and they use that to try to get people to want to buy things so that they can fit in. They can be one of the cool kids on the internet. My advice to you is to ignore that. Ignore all the bandwagon stuff. Buy what you like. It doesn't matter. Think about how people collected 20, 30 years ago. The best advice I can give you in this sense is to not give a single shit what other people collect or what they think about your collection. Buy what you like. You don't need to be in the in group. This green
That's
robot, for instance, this is not a huge popular thing with a giant following that if you buy this, you're going to, I mean, maybe it is if you go to Japan, but not right now, for instance. If you like this, you buy it. If other people on the internet don't even know what it is, F them. Who cares? Buy what you like. Don't buy to show it off. Don't buy to fit in. Buy what makes you happy. What were you going to say, Brian?
He asked if I know what Gengeiser was. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I do, but not by name. I've seen him, and I have some of pictures of him in my proportions folder, which might sound like something an insane person has. But remember, I'm an insane person.
We all are. You guys are at the right place if you like insane people talking about toys.
Yeah, I agree. Also, man, I'm so happy that is never been an issue for me. I've never cared about popular toys.
Yeah, same.
Um, but I definitely do see people doing that. You see that with the what's the knockoff Mayfex figures? People are doing
The
that with
CT
that.
toys, holy shit.
People like the CP toys because they're popular and it's like trendy. I'm like, are you guys 12?
Yeah, I don't get it.
And
I
I'm
mean, I
sorry if
see the
anybody's like
purpose, but
heavily influenced by that. That's just what comes to my mind. I'm not trying to insult anyone, but a lot of the
I
people
am.
who are buying them do seem like they are 12.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
and it
This
seems like it seems like the toy industry like clout chasing for toy. It's weird. It's like God,
it,
they never thought of like what?
it's
Like just buy
exactly
the
what it
toy. If you want
is.
the toy.
And then as soon as these companies, these corpos, as people call them, started using social media and realizing, hey, wait a minute, this is free
Yeah,
advertising and it's way better. We give a few people this toy, or even don't give it to them, but make sure they think they might be friends with us on social media. That's all it takes. All it
it's
takes
so
is
weird.
like Hasbro is a good example, for instance, because they're one of the scummier companies, if you ask me. Is it a coincidence that their PR team uses their own personal accounts to post Hasbro PR stuff? I don't think so. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's to get people to think, oh, he's going to be friends with me. I'll be in with the Hasbro guy, and then I can be one of the
No,
Hasbros. There's no way that's
yeah.
on accident.
I said CT toys are cheaper. That's why they're popular. I mean, I'm sure that some people like that they're cheaper and that they're easier to get sometimes. But I also have seen people like excited for the new release. And I'm like, guys, it's just a bootleg. Like, what are you talking about? You're excited for it? Oh, the next CT toys. What?
Right.
What? It exists
It's
already.
It is nuts, and also they're not good. Someone said they're good. They're good for what they are. Sometimes they're not good. And that people like to compare CT Toys. Well, if they can do it, why can't other companies? Because they're literally stealing everything that they make and making it
Yeah,
with subpar ingredients, materials, and production processes. That's why. Because you're buying an incredibly inferior product that's been stolen. That's why it's cheap. I get
yeah.
that there's a place, there's a market for it, there's a use for it, fine. But don't follow
It's
the
not about
bandwagon of just
authenticity
hopping on
either.
and
It's
grabbing it.
really just yeah, they have stolen stuff, and that's why they can make it cheaper. If I went and stole the molds from some company who already made them, I wouldn't have to pay thousands of dollars to do like
Well, that's the thing. This is a good point right here. Tom Brady. I like that. Tom Brady. If that's your real name, that is a wonderful name. That's a good point right there. They're great for photos on Instagram. Yep, you don't have to spend $100 for a Mafex Wolverine. You can buy a piece of shit $20 one that looks good in dark lights with a few highlights, and then you can be one of the cool kids on Instagram. That's what it is. That's not a good mentality to have. You're going to end up with a bunch of $20 pieces of garbage that are worth less than nothing by the time you're done, and you're not
and
going to be happy with them.
a lot of the time I'm like, man, I'm so picky about what I buy that I don't buy anything for months now, and then I buy one thing and it's like I don't even open it. But I'm very happy I'm not in the other the
Right.
opposite of it, where I'm just buying junk to buy junk.
Now, third party stuff, some people are mentioning third party. That's a different thing. That's an IP thing. I
It's
don't
different.
like that as much, but at least it's a new sculpt and they're high
Yeah, it's
quality.
a new
Good
thing.
good materials,
Yeah,
good everything.
not just a
Ethically
bootleg.
questionable. That's totally different. Totally different thing. Okay, so that
I mean,
this is turning
IP
out to be a
infringement
better
sucks. Yeah,
conversation.
so it's like, yeah.
What'd you say?
What? I said IP infringement sucks because, well, okay, I'm not as worried about IP infringement for big companies that are like, oh, we're Marvel and we have X character design that we've marketed out for millions of dollars, and the person who owns it, probably the person who created it, probably doesn't even get the money anymore, kind of a thing. But then
Yeah.
it begs the question for smaller creators who do, you know, get like nothing for their stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's
my
the
buddy
thing. It's
Vio, my buddy
yeah.
Vio, if you just type in shadow cosplay in Google, my buddy Vio is apparently the most popular Shadow cosplayer, Shadow the Hedgehog. And there are so many sites that have stolen the way the jacket design was set up, um, and is now just listing it for like $100. You can buy the jacket, and then they use the photos,
Yep. Yep.
and it's like, what?
Well,
It's
that's
crazy because Vio is a small creator. This isn't a big person, you know. And so we were talking in one of the servers, and people were trying to get help take down the site listings and stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm mostly concerned when it affects small creators and stuff, not corporations.
That's the
Um,
problem though, because it's really hard to say, well, it's okay if you steal this, but not that, based on who's going to get
well,
paid or not. So it's, I mean,
you're right.
like you
I would
might
say,
know,
but like,
but then you're opening the floodgates, and that's why it's like I'm okay with it because a lot of these
I'm
companies
okay
don't
with
use their IP, but then like
that's what it
Big
is,
Tit
right? It's
gets
not
screwed.
like if somebody's just making a bunch of Gundams that are like, oh, it's the Arc 78 again, but it's their style of it. I'd be like, well, no, I feel like Bandai has that market fulfilled, and you shouldn't be doing that,
Yeah.
right?
But then you can do that for
Um,
small creators too, like that Pit, the
but no,
not
but
Marvel
I get the
character.
but what I'm saying that I'm putting it on a gradient. I'm not making it black and white.
Well, I know, but I'm that. But then it's like, where do you draw the line? Because nobody's using that. He's
Draw
not
the
trying to
line. I
license it
draw the
out.
line when I decide to draw the line
Well,
because
that's the
it's a
thing. That's the thing. It's completely discretionary. So that's
yeah.
a whole different topic. But the bootleg topic is not, if you ask me. That is black and
Yeah,
white.
I agree. The bootleg topic is not no. The bootleg topic is stupid because also because it's not just that you're stealing from people who like you're stealing from everyone in that instance, and you're getting profit for some reason. So it's like, well, you know what I mean?
Yep. Okay, let's move on though, because we are running close to out of time. This shouldn't take too long though, because a lot of this is like it doesn't really matter. But okay, they also have certain strategies to try to get people to just accept what they're saying. For instance, like the appeal to authority, it's a good logical fallacy. A lot of people often do this for all kinds of things. Action figure companies are no different. They like to say things have to be a certain way. It's just the way it is. I'm going to use Hasbro as a big example because they're the biggest action figure company in the world. Bandai's big too, and they do things also. And this new Goku shoulder that they're getting patented supposedly is going to be a good example, I think. Uh, that's still nuts. Things don't have to be a certain way. You don't have to. They said we can't. We simply can't put more paint on the figures without them costing significantly more. That's not true. They just say things that aren't true because they think you have to believe them because they're the ones making the figures. They're the ones in charge. A lot of things they say are not true. What was we were talking about something? Oh, just like the company Brian showed earlier, Real Action Heroes. They lie. These companies don't care in a lot of instances. That Link outfit was not what was being made. They can lie and cheat and do whatever they want. You shouldn't trust them just because they say something is the case. Um, saying we can't I don't know, we can't use put our ball pegs in the right position because it's a choking hazard or whatever bullshit Hasbro makes up at any given time for any of their stupid excuses. Just because they say it doesn't make it true, and that's the same thing
Yeah,
to appeal to
if they're
ignorance.
saying
That
something's a choking hazard, we looked into that. It's
yep,
just not true. They have a
not a thing.
the standard they have is like very it's pretty lenient about small parts because all you need to do is put on the warning saying warning small parts.
Yep, you put on 3 plus small parts choking hazard, you can do whatever the heck you want, really. And like there are different rules too, but not like that. So that's not a thing. So that covers the
Yeah,
appeal to authority. Go ahead.
the only thing is like if it has to be for a toddler, then you have to follow very strict guidelines. So it has to
Right.
be like below 3. So,
Yep. But if it's
yeah.
not, you can do whatever you want. Appeal to authority, appeal to ignorance. They assume you don't know what the hell they're talking about. And that's why they don't like people like me. They don't like people like me saying, you know what, they're lying. They're full of shit. You can do this, you can do that. They're choosing not to because it affects their bottom line. Just like when Hasbro said, you know what, we're going to change our packaging. We're going to stop global warming. We're going to put it all in cardboard. It has nothing to do
Yeah,
with
called
profits.
deforestation instead.
Yeah,
It's
well,
so
I mean, there's a
stupid.
whole conversation we can have here about this, but they were lying, is my point. Because as soon
Yeah.
as people didn't buy their shit, they're like, "Oh, you know what? We solved it. Global warming's
They
done."
probably had an investment situation that was happening, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Well,
it
we
was
can do
some kind
our."
of bullshit. Yep. You can go ahead. You can elaborate.
It was
Keep
some kind of
interrupting you.
cardboard deal they had with some kind of company, and they were like, "Well, we can say this for, PR reasons," and
I don't even think it was
yeah.
that. I mean, it might have been that. I bet you they were getting an investment where they had to say they were doing some kind of green initiative, and if they did, then they got more money. Or it was gonna look good in a portfolio that, "Oh, we don't use plastic." That's my hunch.
You know
And
what?
then as soon as they
Companies
couldn't sell
companies
anything, it
need to
changed real
start
quick.
using, like, I don't know how metals are much better for recycling. Metals are so
Right.
much better.
Start selling action figures in old school lunchboxes. But seriously, these
Yes,
companies lie.
do
They
it.
appeal to ignorance, they appeal to their authority. You don't have to listen to them. You know better. I'm doing my best to make people as informed as possible so that you cannot fall for their crap. Okay. They also give you false dilemmas. That's another real popular one. It's either this or that. You can have you can have floppy figures or you can have pinless joints or pin joints or however you want to word it. Nope. Nope. You can have perfectly stiff legs with pinned joints. You can have perfectly floppy figures with pinless joints. You don't have to pick one or the other. You can just do it the right way. You don't have to have no paint apps in order to have pinless joints. You can do all kinds of things, as it turns out. And you don't have to take my word for it. Thanks to Jada, thanks to Storm Arena, thanks to various other companies, it's all being proven to be a bunch of bullshit. You can have all kinds of things on your action figures. It all just works out, turns out. You can do all the things the right way if you want to. If you don't want to, you can charge more, give people less, and lie through your teeth about all of it. There's that. I don't know about I can't think of any other examples for false dilemmas. Can you think of any, Brian? I can think of another one.
Mm,
One that you will like. You can't have good
but
range in the hips without big old flaps for figure arts.
Or
You don't
drop
need that.
down.
Oh, the friggin' drop down. We can't get the range without a drop down. Yes, you can. You didn't try very hard to design your figure. Okay, and then the last one. We have time. We did it. We rushed through it, but we did it. The appeal to emotion. Don't let nostalgia trick you into buying bad figures. You will regret it. Now, I understand. Let me tell you, if they made a Captain Falcon figure, for instance, and it's not that good, you better bet I'm buying it.
Yeah, I did this.
Understand, though, before you buy it, that it's not, if it's a bad figure, for instance, that it's not a good figure. You want it because it's the only thing out there, and fine, be happy with it. You'll enjoy it for what it is. That's fine. But if you're just buying off everything, like every Spider Man figure, because you like Spider Man, you're probably going to end up regretting it. I use Spider Man because they make 1,000 of those things. They're not that
Yeah.
different.
Like,
They're
if they
not
make
that
a
different.
saucer rider like the guy on screen, and it's like, "Oh, I haven't had one of these in 50 years." Well, they've only made 2 of them in, like, the past 20
Right.
years, so that makes sense.
All of this, use your best judgment for whatever suits you, but keep in mind
Yeah.
they are purposely doing nostalgia. This Marvel vs. Capcom thing is a perfect example. Half these figures aren't very good. If you're fine with that, by all means, buy them and enjoy them to whatever degree you can. But if you're expecting them to be good figures and you're letting nostalgia trip you up, you're going to be disappointed. You will have spent way too much money on a bunch of lousy Hasbro products and not be satisfied with it. Try not to fall for the nostalgia thing. Hasbro's really good at that. Everybody does it, really. But again, all of these things, use your best judgment for you. Don't buy what's trendy. Don't buy something just because you like the IP 50 years ago. If it's a pile of shit, even if it's the only thing out there, you're not going to enjoy it. Perfect example here. Brian, do you remember the 3A Master Chief? Do you think you could have enjoyed that figure, even if it was the only Master Chief on the planet?
No. No, that thing sucked.
Nope. It was terrible.
You know what's crazy
Terrible.
too? How did 3-0 become, like, one of the worst companies? They were, like, when it was 3A, before they rebranded to 3-0,
Yeah.
everything was fragile, everything was overpriced, and now it's the reverse. Everything is really durable and really underpriced. It's a really strange marketing flip name strategy, but I do associate 3-0 differently than 3A. Maybe they got
Oh,
new,
yeah.
likely thing.
Yeah. After that Master Chief, I said 3A is the worst company ever. I'll never buy anything from them again. And I waited a long time, even when they switched over. But 3-0 is everything they
Maybe
make that I've had, I've enjoyed. It's been good quality at a good price. I don't know what happened. I have no
I don't
idea
know.
how they managed to change their entire company structure, their style, their quality, their pricing, everything changed 180 degrees. It's nuts. But yeah, that Master Chief, watch my review, guys. Pile of garbage. The only thing, I guess the sculpt was okay on it, but if it was the only Master Chief figure on the planet, I would not buy it. Try not to, and of course, some people do this. I'm not the kind of collector where, like, let's say Spider Man, for instance. I don't have Spider Man anything if I'm Spider Man collector. I'm not, but if I was, some people buy anything with the face on it. They'll buy napkins, they'll buy light switch covers, they'll buy bed sheets, soap dispenser, whatever. They like the IP that much they buy everything. If you want to do that, fine. My suggestion is don't do that when it comes to action figures. Buy what's actually going to be good that you're going to enjoy. If you have a bunch of Spider-Man figures that are garbage, for instance, no pleasure in that. Goal is not to have the heaviest collection. I think that's a good tip. Um, not about quantity at the end of the day. Honestly, even the rich people who can just fill up a garage filled with anything and put it in the most beautiful display case, I don't think they're actually enjoying it. I don't think it's possible to enjoy bad things personally. It's certainly not for me. I can't. I won't buy things. Like I have nothing in my house that's action figure or comic or whatever related, other than my collection in my workspace. Not my thing. I know a lot of people definitely go farther than I do, but I really don't think you can enjoy it if it's just a compulsion to buy more of said character or said thing. Brian's probably feeling a little bit different because he has like 500 RX 78-2 heads in his collection.
But the
um,
real question is, you gotta ask me if I'm enjoying it,
but
and
do you,
the
yeah, do
real
you
answer
enjoy
is,
having all of these or all of these?
uh,
Ugh.
no.
So, do you
I
agree with what I'm
enjoy
saying? Would you say
Yes,
quality over
yeah.
quantity? to an
Okay,
extreme
I
for
guess for
me.
context, I'll give people I have OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. So there's definitely some things, like, um,
Fair enough.
but that's obviously not that's not we don't need to get into that.
Right. If they made a Link action figure, Brian would buy it. If it was OOT Link from the game, no matter how bad it is, he would buy it. Actually, you probably wouldn't be able
That's
to.
true. What do you
You
mean?
might not be able to.
No, I have every posable Ocarina of Time Link figure, so I would, out of that
Okay.
principle. That's the
Yeah,
only, like,
that makes
completion
sense.
thing I have, and that's because it's easy, because there's, like, 5.
That's true. Yeah, there's a handful of them. What the hell? If you're gonna piss away a few $100s, whatever. They're not good, but you have them. That's fine. But
Yeah.
again, use your best judgment. What works for you? These are tips that I would follow as a regular civilian, let's say. I try to follow it even as a reviewer. I get people asking me all the time, "Will you review this? Will you review that?" No, I don't want it in my collection. So if I buy it to review, I have to sell it. I don't want to do that. It's a pain in the ass. I lose money on everything I buy to review just to sell. It's not profitable. Like I said before, it's not an investment. So buy what you're going to actually enjoy. However you enjoy it, everybody's different. Some people love stamps, coins, action figures, whatever. Buy what you enjoy. Don't worry about trends. Don't worry about investment. Don't worry about quantity. Make your collection specifically for you, what you're going to enjoy. And I would probably even say try to participate on the internet. Now, this isn't good for me because I'm on the internet and I want you guys to view my stuff and participate on Discord and whatever else, these live streams. Participate on the internet as little as possible as it pertains to sharing your collection because you won't be pressured into buying things you don't want. Enjoy your collection. And if you enjoy sharing it, go for it. But you do enter that area where it's like it starts becoming a measuring contest. I've had people try to tell me, well, you're not a real collector because your collection isn't that big. Well, one, it is. Two, I don't share it because I don't care what other people think about it. The real
Yeah.
Krillin collection. I mean,
Somebody
you
said
saw his
everyone has
blast effect. It's like
OCD.
that. What's that?
Somebody said everyone has OCD. No. No, you don't.
Nope, it's definitely diagnosable and a real thing that most people don't
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't wanna for the past, like, 2 years, I've been worried about odors affecting toys, which has made it almost impossible for me to even open my stuff because I have everything closeted away in a room with, like, 15 air purifiers and stuff. It's not about being picky, it's about other stuff, but we don't need to go into that. And somebody
Yeah.
mentioned they have both RX-78 kits. What he meant by 15 heads is that they were all the same thing. We're all from the exact same race. That's that's why it was a problem,
Yeah.
because I had bought that figure, like, 8 times.
Many, many purchases. Yeah. Yeah, not everybody has OCD, not everybody has autism. These are not things that people everybody says that on the internet now. It's not a thing.
Right.
They're real things. I say I have OCD. I've never not like that, like not officially. It's never been diagnosed. I bet though, just like some tiny little bit of me has some sort of thing. You guys have probably noticed, but no, it's not like what Brian's talking about. Nothing like that. People don't have. Not everybody has OCD. Maybe that's what the person. Maybe they were being sarcastic.
I have, like, 8 of the same Robot Damashi figure.
Yeah, that's when you go to the doctor and say, "Hey, I think I might have something going on," and they say, how many robot Damashi have you purchased of the same one? If it's over 7, check mark. If it's under 7, you're probably okay. They call that pre-OCD, like they do with pre-diabetes. Okay, that's enough jokes about medical stuff. The
No, if you
RX-78
guys
head
have
bugs.
OCD, go try to get, diagnosed. I've been
Yeah,
diagnosed
for
since I was
sure.
young.
Definitely see a professional. We're just making jokes here. I mean, Brian's being serious, but I'm making jokes. But
No,
see a
yeah, and
professional.
also I
This is
don't
not
mind the
medical
joke.
advice in any way. I want to put that out there. All teachers stop saying all. All of anything isn't anything. That's not a thing. All teachers have a form of OCD. No, no. Although I'm not a teacher anymore. Anyway, that's my advice for you guys. Um, Take it or leave it. But there's a lot of people starting out collecting every day. A whole new generation of people's coming up. Um, they're gonna try to play catch up now. Somebody mentioned that they can't catch up to me. That's what the person said, not me. So they're buying a bunch of garbage to try to bolster their collection. Don't do that. Buy what you enjoy. If you have to backtrack, go for it. Spend more on things you enjoy rather than less on things you don't in larger quantities. That's really the best advice I can give. And try to keep any one item to under 7 or under 8 just to make sure you're clear. Okay. All right. That's it. That was a good talk, I think. I enjoyed it. Brian, did you enjoy it? Did you have fun?
Yeah, this was good, and we were gone for a month.
We're gone for a month. Okay. Am I late to the Krillin tip discussion? You're very late.
Yeah, sadly, I'm sorry, Froki. We already talked about the penis quite extensively.
One other thing, real quick before we go, because I know we're running a little bit late here. I mentioned how people have said in the past, I'm not a real collector. I just do it for the views. I just review stuff and I don't even care about toys because I've never shown my collection and stuff. I don't
You know
show my
what? Let me say, I've known Anthony for a long time. All we talk about is toys. Why? That's so stupid. Is he? Oh, it's the front. He's putting on a front for me specifically. It's all about like.
This stream is the
It's
culmination of my plan. I've
yeah.
been tricking Brian for 20 years now in order to have him support my one argument in this stream right now. No, I don't have my collection on all photos all over the place. I don't show it off because I just don't care. Now, when it's in these cabinets, we'll do a video or two, and maybe I'll show it or whatever. That's fine. But I don't care what other people think about what I collect. Doesn't mean anything to me if you know what? I like Batman. I don't like Superman. My brother's the other way around. Does that mean I like Batman less because he likes Superman more? It's the dumbest internet argument I've ever heard. I haven't shown my collection because I don't care what people think about it. Is it a big collection? It sure is. Doesn't matter. The size of the collection doesn't determine how much you enjoy it. Don't worry about how big someone else's collection is. Don't say someone's not a real collector because they don't have this many or they don't have this quality or whatever. I don't care if somebody collects only Toy Biz $5 Marvel figures from 20 years ago. Well, now it's probably 40 years ago. Gosh, I'm old. Your entire collection is $5 figures and you enjoy it. That's as good as good of a collection as somebody who only collects Hot Toys or $4,000 statues.
Yeah,
If that's what they enjoy and that's what
absolutely.
you enjoy, to try to judge somebody else based on what they collect is ridiculous. And I'm not doing some like
No, I agree. I
bleeding
agree.
heart argument that everybody should love everybody. That's not the point. My point is do what you like. It does not matter what other people like at all. At all.
And especially in today's climate with social media and stuff, that's an important thing to say. So I
Yeah,
agree.
well, this is all, yes, within the context of social media where everybody's, especially these companies, are trying to push. You need to buy more. You need to have this. You need to have that. You need to want this. You need to spend this much. The argument for Hasbro's, well, you're just poor. You know what? No, I just don't waste my money on garbage. You can decide that if that makes me poor, I don't really care what you think about it. That's the mentality more people need. Okay, that's it. I'm done ranting. I'll do more next time probably. I like to talk, and I don't get to talk about toys that much. Good here. I mean, other than reviews, but reviews are boring for me to. Okay, Brian, do you have any closing remarks?
Uh, yeah. Why is that $500? No, I don't. I think that's it. No, I think we're good. Bye everyone. I hope you guys have a good week. Yeah, it's Monday.
Okay, I have to address one last thing since Brian already said bye. I'll just do this. Will I? Thoughts on Storm Arena line so far looks good. If everything goes according to plan, now I don't have contact with Storm anymore because they stopped talking to me after I started reviewing their products. Honestly, way back in the day. I am gonna get a Ryu and a Ken soon, hopefully. My contacts through Big Bad Toy Store have supposedly secured a set of those two figures for me to review, and I should be getting them before they hit stateside. So I should have them next week ish. So if you guys are interested in that, stick around for sure. But otherwise, I guess the Ken's out over in China. Okay, yeah. Brian said bye. I'm gonna say bye. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It was a fun chat, and we were gone for a month, and we will be back in 2 weeks to have another topic. It'll be probably not penis related, but you never know. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, give it a thumbs up. It works on live streams. And if you haven't subscribed, you should, because I have new videos just about every single day. We do live stream twice a month, and I have thousands of videos already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that good stuff. Meantime, using the tips we talked about tonight, keep collecting.